Well, what's really good is your boy Dex, and we on the Perception is Key podcast. I got some special guests with me. How's everybody doing?
Good, great. Thank you for having us.
Man, we good, bro. What's good?
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Today on my way to try to get some things ready for this podcast, I was just like I was built up anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to because whenever you're trying to get somewhere on time, like you're trying to rush, trying to get somewhere, you get that built up anxiety. You know what I mean?
Yep, I sure do.
One things that I wanted to talk about today was spirituality and how like that kind of helped alleviate that. Because all I did, I realized, man, no matter where I'm gonna be is where I'm supposed to be, wherever I'm at. And you know what I mean?
Ashe. Yep, definitely,
bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I live by that.
Yeah,
like
I could tell.
No, it's funny because like somebody said it the other day, and it was just like, so you just do what you want to do. I was like, yeah, I do. You do
all
too.
All the time.
And I was like, you do too. Yeah, and I was like, you do too. And I guess like when they thought about it, they was like, yeah. So later on, it was like, what you meant by that? I was like, bro, listen. I know I'm always late, but I'm always on time. And it was like, what you mean? I was like, I'm present in the moment. And it was like, dang. I was like, you feel like I'm late, but I'm like, yeah, I'm late, but if I'm not supposed to be here, I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
And it was like, oh yeah, I get it. I was like, yeah, me too.
We'll go across the room. Since you starting talking, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Man, that you already know who it is.
But they don't know.
But no, I'm Kendall Woods. I'm an artist, a visual artist, designer. I met Dex. We worked at the same place, and this dude just like gravitated towards me. And I was like, dude, okay, you cool. But no, we met at work, man, and ever since, man, we connected, bro. On more of a, just an employee base and work environment, man. Like I told my wife, I'm like, dang, man, that should feel like I know him or I've been around him before. She was like, yeah, man, I don't forgot what you said. Was it twin spirit or something like that?
Twin flame,
yeah. So I was like, yeah, but it's me, man. I've been doing my thing here. You've been helping as well, man. We did a shoot on my work last week. So, like I say, man, I'm an artist. I'm putting out more art. I'm gonna try to get in front of the camera more this year. Get my my young man on. You next.
Well, hello. Greetings. Thank you so much. First of all, let me give it back to you. Okay. Thank you for opening up, inviting us, seeing the value in whatever it is that we can bring to the podcast. Right. It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. Windfall in all directions, abundance, all of that. Wherever your feet shall tread, you're blessed, brother. So thank you again. I think this is an awesome forum, but just to show a little bit about myself, it's more about who I be than what I do. So I'm Tamika Woods. I'm Kendall Woods' his wife. I own a business called Enhanced Holistic Love Lab. Why am I nervous? It's not really nervousness. It's more like reverence. You know what I'm saying? It's more like a reverent spirit. But I know this is all going to loosen up. We in good company. We in good, we in a tribe. I do massage therapy. I'm a registered nurse by trade. Do massage therapy, all aspects of that. But more importantly, I believe God has put me here to facilitate healing. So all aspects and whatever walk the person comes to me, I don't go seeking out anything. I believe that I attract, not chase. So whoever and whatever is supposed to come to me, that's an opportunity for me to grow. Because sometimes I'm there for the client, and sometimes the client's there for me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's a synergistic relationship that I have. And I've served 20 years in the military. I'm retired. So I have the leverage with my time.
That's what I'm talking about. Talk that up. You don't talk about that enough, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I understand why you don't talk about it enough because
man,
I've had
I ain't never realized that.
No, you don't, and it's cool. And I know when you're ready, you're ready. And it's crazy because I love history, and you know that about me. And my uncles and granddad fought in wars, and I've been around them when they've tapped into it. Man, such and such did this, I did this. I was like, you was in a tank. So like you don't talk about that enough, and like I understand why you don't, but man, thank you. Like you're my wife, and I never like I don't think I say it enough. Like thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. But that was like that's a long time in somebody's life, 20.5 years. So I sometimes forget to mention, not that I don't remember, it's because I feel like my life just started when I retired, because my time was my time. And I didn't have to ask no one for permission to go on leave, to do this event or do that. So I think that's sometimes why I don't mean to minimize it, but I feel like my life just really, really kicked off the second part of my life, because that is history too, but it's good history. It's got me to the point of where I'm at now. All our experiences get us to the point where we are now. So I appreciate that. But just a little bit about me. I'm just here as a conduit. I really am. I'm here to serve, and I love people, and I love to see them thrive. And I'm getting emotional right now. And
I always get emotional. It's cool though.
It's just my heart. It's just my heart. There's two things. There's jealous of you, and it's jealous for you. Yeah. And I'm jealous for you, meaning that everything that is good and great and grand that the universe, God, divine ancestors has for you, that's what I want to see. So we'll talk more about what that entails as it unfolds, because we're all still students of this dimension here, and we're still unfolding and peeling back the onions of ourselves. So that's just a little bit about me, and I just thank you again. I just want to openly say this, that there's not enough males that uplift. We see a lot of sisterhood and bonding, but we don't see enough brotherhood. And if they are, it's time for them to come to the forefront more than now. So I thank you on a personal level, for real, for being there with my husband, because there's not enough of that. Like, it's a dog world, and everybody's about their ego. And he came home on the first couple of days. We were moving back here from Georgia, and he was like, I met this bomb ass dude, and he's like really like legit cool. And I was like, that's cool, because that's rare. And you know, relationships happen naturally. They flow. And I've met people like sis here. I feel like I've known her all my life already, because we just are kindred spirits, and we just floating around, and then we become in contact with each other, and we develop that community and that tribe. So again, thank you so much. Not to talk too long. You might have to cut me off sometimes. Ain't a lie.
Hey,
I get going.
wrap it up.
Do this right here. I won't even be offended. Like, do that right there,
Tie it off.
and I'm gonna be good.
Tie it off.
But thanks for having us.
You're someone that everyone can listen to, though. Like,
For
you keep
sure.
talking, and we're like, we don't want you to quit talking, because we're like,
Oh, thank you.
I'm about to tell you this, Kels. Before I even knew like her rank that she had in the military, I can tell it was a rank. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like
people listen to her.
Yeah. So I was like,
You're so funny.
you know, I was like, okay,
You make me
yeah.
blush.
Like she can really captivate the room, man. She
Thank
know
you,
that.
babe.
But like I said, she don't use that superpower anymore. It's just it just comes naturally. Like it's natural.
Awesome.
well, I'm Kels.
Kels.
Kendall said.
You
It's so
guys
funny,
say
because like, you're the only person that's ever really, like, you started calling me that, and now I'll meet people, and it's not everyone, but it's always like cool people are like, hey Kels, and I'm like, and every time somebody says
Bro,
that now, I'm like, all right, I think it's
told
something
you.
about that. Like, no one's ever
Gotta
called me
ring to
that,
it.
so that's cool. I don't know. I'm me. I do lashes. But honestly, like, my biggest, if you wanted to know like who I am, I'm like a dog mom. I didn't think I was as much of a dog mom as I am, but like, I'm such a mom. I do everything by myself unless I'm with them. So that's like everything I'm obsessed with right now. Like, I'm always with them. But it's so crazy, because I wanted to talk about this. When you first messaged me about this podcast, I was like, having the worst day, honestly the worst kind of week, but that day was so bad. I was like, I've been so emotional, like, I don't know what I'm going through, but I've been crying about everything. I saw an adoption thing for a golden retriever that's like 9 years old today on Facebook. Like, someone was like, 9-year-old golden retriever like needs a home, and I'm bawling on Facebook, like, and I've been like that for the past couple of weeks, and I'm like, what is going on? But no, I was having the worst day, just like not sure, like I was just questioning so much about everything in my life and like what was going on. And then you messaged me that, and I was like, no way, dude. Like, that is so dope. Like, I just knew, like, I'm like, this is like the best opportunity for me right now. Like, I mean, not that I wouldn't want to do it, but even if I was like, should I? No, like there was no question. I was like, yeah.
Right.
Like it was like the perfect timing. Like, I'm like, yeah, I gotta be there for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think like when I don't even know why, like, cause like when I first did the podcast, when I first thought about bringing it upon everybody, it was just like I don't know what I was gonna do. I just knew I just have like really dope conversations with people all the time. So it just like automatically hit me, and I don't know why it hit me.
Yeah.
And then I just hit you and Kendall up at the same time. I was like, text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you two doing? You know what I mean? Like, would you be able to do it? And then, like, for you both to say yes was like, it was definitely meant to be.
Right.
You know, it was definitely meant to be because at the end of the day, like, you know, you really can't control what people are going to be around you, or people are going to support you, or people are going to be there to, like, you know, help you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, nobody's going to push you as much as you can push yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think spirituality is the biggest piece for that. You know what I'm saying? The advocacy for yourself. But no, going back to like how emotional you were in that times, did you self-reflect and figure out what was going on, or?
Yeah, like all the time. And actually, like you said, or maybe you said it, like you analyze everything around you. I'm like an over analyzer, like to the point where it's probably hurting me, to be honest, because I just pick up on so many things, and I feel like I can read people really well. And that's like a blessing and a curse, to be honest, because sometimes you can tell when someone really isn't good for you, or isn't going to be, you know, and not even just you, just other situations too. But so like I overanalyze so much, and I still do it, but I do it now with the outlook of like, this is what it is. But like, I don't have to let that, like, it doesn't have to affect me. It's only affecting me because I choose to let it affect me. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time it really isn't even a direct thing to me. It's just something I'm noticing, and like if I choose things only have power if you give it power. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, especially when I'm emotional, I'm like, why? Like, it's important to feel everything that you're feeling, but like to let it carry out, like you gotta feel it in that moment and then allow that to go, you know, and carry on. Because if you just allow like whatever you're feeling, if you're sad one day and you have a whole sad day, sometimes you need that. But like I've had so many days where like I'm really, really emotional in the morning, and then I'm so productive and I finish out what I need to do for the rest of the day. And I almost feel like better having had that sadness and that productivity versus just like all productivity, like never feeling things or never, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, but I self-reflect so much. And it's like, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day about, do you ever look back on like, especially you, I feel like being in the military, how you said that was kind of like, not that it wasn't part of your life, it was just like its own little section kind of.
Yeah.
Like I look back on certain parts of my life and I'm like, I think about it as if it were somebody else's situation. Like I'm like, wow, like I don't think that in my head necessarily, but I'm like, I don't think that's me. Like that is not me anymore. You know?
Like maybe
and
you even get in a third person's perspective.
Yeah, because I'm like, wow, like, because if I was in that same predicament now, like I would not be that person I was then, which you don't want to be. But it's just wild to look back and think like, I don't even know her, but in the good way, you know, because it's so much good growth. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like you grow. You don't understand it, especially when you're going through it. But like, if you reflect on it, you start to understand it. You start to live in the present. You start to live in the now. You be like, oh, it's balance. Oh, this balance brings peace and harmony. Oh, like all this stuff, like especially like with me and you, like you can elaborate a little more on like balance, because I think in our relationship we balance each other.
We do. We really do. I feel like we have to value all parts of ourselves, because none of us would be sitting here had we not been through that. And it's a journey. Like we are in a true journey. We have our shadow side. We hear that a lot. I don't like saying shadow because it has a depiction of darkness, but that is the side that nobody sees that we had to grow from. And we've grown out of the mud and we became this beautiful lotus, right? And so I want to go back a little bit, because I feel like spirituality is at the root. It's got to be a respect thing. It's not respected enough as far as the different diverse ways of which you honor yourself spiritually. You know, I go back to, I think I mentioned this to you this past weekend on Minister Society when he said, when Rock was talking about Kareem was a devout Muslim, and he said, if Allah can make my son a better man than Jesus, then so be it. And that was profound, because I feel like we have to honor in this time. It's so much division and compartmentalizing, and somebody will look at you and be like, you're overly emotional. You need help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's you, and you're navigating through that. And we navigate different ways, and as long as we can respect those different corridors of our life, then going back, I always will it back to childhood too. Always got to will it back, because those are the things that's embedded in us as we think spirituality is, and the meaning of that. And then you're taught almost of how to be how to think, act, when you should cry, when you should not cry, when you should feel a certain way, when you should, especially boys. Like, you're taught not to cry, but all that goes into the being of you, the spirituality as you. So I just wanted to go back there. There's so much critique when it comes to spirituality now. Can you hear me okay? It's so much critique, but the way you navigate your feelings and your day, Spirit is guiding all of that. Even down to the most tumultuous thing that's happened to us in the past, and we don't want to talk about that, but it always brings to the forefront where we sit right now and how we be right now. And then you don't talk about bringing kids into the midst and being a model for someone and living out your passion and your purpose. All of that it's like the cake, y'all. It's like the ingredients.
There's
It's
so many
the
variables.
ingredients that
There's
make
layers.
us our grit and where we sit now. I've learned not to abandon, my past as far as in the military, because I met some diverse people, and I got a chance to be unbiased about a lot of things. It killed the bias in me about spirituality, about culture. So I appreciate it, and everything brings it to the forefront right now. So I know what we're saying about, like, I'm not that girl no more. You not. It's like, let me reintroduce myself. My name is. We're reintroducing ourselves, and we're steadily growing.
Yeah.
But we go through things not just for us. I learned that a long time ago.
So
I'm going through an experience. I'm going through an experience so that when you bring it to me, I could be like, sis, I've been through that same exact thing. I may not handle it the way you had handled it because our DNA is different, but I can probably give you some nuggets and you can give me some nuggets, and that's that healthy flow and exchange that we have.
So like, back to the question. I wanna hit Dexter with the question. What is spirituality, bro? Like, what do you like? What do you feel like it is, man? Like,
I can move on.
for me, it's just a constant taking, myself, analyzing myself for who I am and not who I want to be.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So, and the way that works for my spirituality is like, I think everybody thinks highly of themselves. Everybody's the main character in their video game or their
You
movie.
should.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
You should.
preach that
As
to
you
everyone.
should.
I'm like, you are the main character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you should.
Star.
But at the same time, like, there's points in times when that main character is like, through perspective, is not necessarily what that main character actually was in real life. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe, and I hate to talk about like different things, but maybe that superhero was a villain the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Perspective.
Keep going. Keep going.
You know,
keep going. Keep going.
Maybe that villain was actually trying to save something that really mattered to him. You know what I'm saying? And mattered to the people around him. And that's why he had such a big following. You know what I mean? So me personally, I kind of try to like take away my bias on myself.
Yeah.
And really figure out like what I'm doing wrong, how I'm affecting people.
That's good.
The things that I'm doing wrong. And everything is perspective, but at the same time, even when it comes down to diet, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm thinking about, like just paying attention to my body and paying attention to things that aren't right. You know what I mean? That's part of my spirituality, and that's what I believe it is. It's just being very self-analytical and trying to improve, trying to be a better you at all times. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily, any type of like following. It's particular whatever you want it to be.
Yep. You be
You know
fluid.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously there's different tools and people figure out things of how to make spirituality better and more easier, accessible.
Come on now.
But not everybody has to get there as long as they're doing what works for them. Like you said,
Right.
whatever works for you can work for you, and whatever doesn't, maybe somebody could show you something, but that's that spirituality thing, being open and being able to listen to other people. You know what I mean?
That's truly you know, it is, and it reflects on, like you said, man, like wanting to know your highest self. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I know Kelsey can tell you, like, the first day I met, I'm like, dude, you the bomb. Why not?
She is the bomb.
She was like, yeah, you know how long it took me to get this image? I say, what image? She was like, just for me to be. I say, bro, guess what? I say, hey, we all fly. And like you said, man, like, we create this higher image of ourselves. And as a child, like my wife said, as a child, we get like these limits put on us. Oh, you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this because you're a little boy. You shouldn't do this because you're a little girl. And you're just like, as a child, okay, I want to please everybody. But you forget, I want to please myself. You get what I'm saying? Like playing with a child, as a child, you pleasing yourself. Then when you grow up, you be like, I don't want to play with them. I don't want to do it. Like, then you start thinking about it. You be like, why? Because you've been conditioned. And that's like stripping away from your truth. You get what I'm saying? Of your higher being. As children, spirituality should be taught in school, bro.
They should.
I should tell you, you are the best. You can do what you want to do. You can, man. Bro, think about it. As a kid, you ain't have no money. You ain't have no worries. You ain't have nothing to think about. But your imagination stretched across the world.
That's right.
Across the universe.
Yep.
Bro, I was
Magical.
living in space before I even know what space was. As a child, I was like, bro, I could do this, do that. But as a kid, you get these limits put on you. And these restraints of, oh, you can't do this because we're Christian. Easter's coming up, so, oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. It's tradition. As a kid, I used to question, bro. I used to be like, why? Why I got to wear this suit? Why I got to do what they say to do because it's Christmas or Easter? What is Easter? You get what I'm saying? Little stuff like that. And my girl used to be like, don't question God.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't question God. Then you start thinking like, bro, who is God? What is God? Then you start, you know, like going to school, getting exposed to different cultures, being in the military, being in different, you know, jobs and traveling. You be like, bro, I'm seeing different stuff. And you start realizing like, spirituality, it's different in them. It's different, but it's nothing but a journey. You get what I'm saying? Like, Kels, what is spirituality to you? You get what I'm saying? Like, you was like, bro, it's up and down. You get what I'm saying? So, like, what is it to you?
Well, and not to get too far off, but like you're talking about, like, as a kid, like, I talk to people about this all the time, especially my age or people younger than me. Because I'm like, I'm still young, but like, there's people like 20, 19, 20, and they're like, oh yeah, I have a kid or I have 2 kids. And I'm like, what? And like, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But my thing with that, like, I always tell people when I talk about this, I'm like, I feel like being a parent, I'm not a parent, so I can't really say 100%, but like.
What a dog mom.
Right. Say you are
to humans. I know, because I teach them a lot, and they teach me a lot.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I could get into, too, because when I first got my first dog, I'm not even joking, like, the connection that we had together, I'm like, this is literally me as a dog. Like, like we are the same.
Real.
And I was like, and I still feel that way, but no, I'm like, being a parent, it's not just like, like raising a child, like providing for them and loving them, because so many people are like, oh, but I would just be such a good mom. Like, I would love my kid. Like, that's not all it takes. Like, you are responsible for some other being's entire, like, psychological development.
Right.
And that is so much responsibility, I feel like. And being able to raise a child, especially depending on your environment, like, in an environment where, like, you can raise them to be a free thinker and to, like, you can have your own beliefs, but allow them to be a child.
Yes.
And to be able to, question you on things like that, like, why do we have to go to church or whatever.
Right.
It's so important. And, like, there's just so many factors involved in that, too. Like, I grew up in a very small town, like, very, very small. It's like, I mean, I could probably tell you there may have been 10, like, Black people in our school in entirety from kindergarten to, 12th grade. So, and I know all their first and last names. Like, So I had no sense of diversity or like, this is what I know and this is what it is. And then that's kind of why, like, you brought up, like, it took me so long to get here. Cause like, I didn't have any sense of like identity as a child. Like, I just kind of went with whatever I was told to do. And I didn't feel like I could express myself because I was just like doing what I thought was normal because it's what everybody else did or whatever. And so it's wild that like, as a child, you have, the world really is yours, and you grow up and you're made to kind of think that like, well, like you just conform to so many things. But like as an adult, like realizing that the world is still yours, like I feel like that is huge. Like some people just, they know that the whole time and that's great. But like, I feel like I hit that and I was like, why am I like, no, like I can do whatever. Like, and it's all within me. Like that's kind of like to answer the question, I guess.
No,
like,
you hitting it on the head. It's
like,
it's really whatever. It's a melting pot, man. It's just a whole thing of just elevating to higher self. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like the deeper I get into like my own spirituality, it's like the less I'm able to explain it to others in a way.
And that's good.
I could give you like a general like explanation, but I feel it more than I can speak it.
That's it. The heart chakra is engaged.
Yeah.
And if I may, I'm not.
No,
trying to
you're
cut you off. I feel that's what I was more or less trying to. Spirituality is so fluid. We have compartmentalized so much that we can't allow ourselves to flow from practice to practice, whatever resonates, and not say, oh, the labels get me right now. Because I'm like, I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna take you for what and who you are. Whatever it is that makes you thrive, I'm with that.
Doesn't it feel good when you're able to like walk up to somebody and they just like you for who you are, and they don't try to fit you into anything?
Yes.
And don't you feel like because you're more in tune with your spirituality, you're easier able to do that with other people?
Absolutely. And it crosses race.
Yeah.
It crosses the pigmentation of your skin. Let's get clear about that shit too. Because people think when you say tribe, I'm just talking about the African American tribe. Spirituality is your heart, your spirit. This is shell, and nothing to take away from the history of different cultures or anything like that. But you, my sister, I don't even know your national. I don't even know exactly. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. It don't even matter. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. I call my Caucasian sister sis, and they be like, "Oh, I'm really her sis," because it became you canceled some stuff out, and that's what I like. I was gonna go back to the childhood thing. We have parents that are still finding themselves. To be honest.
Yeah, I wanted to touch that too. That's the thing is like so many parents, like they're not even figuring out the things. Like my parents, my mom, I got her like into her own spirituality too, and it's so awesome because
Love it.
Yes, and like my dad's like he's a little
coming over here with it.
he's a little different, but
Hocus pocus.
and it's crazy to see the difference. And my mom like has whole moments too where she's like, I can't believe I did this, or like, like the person I am now, like I'm just upset that I wasn't that for you as a mother when you were a child. I'm like, no, but like be so happy for yourself now, like everything you're experiencing, like this is so good, like, and that's crazy because just so many people are like having, like me and my mom are going through it together in a sense,
awesome.
And I would much rather have it this way than to change anything. Right.
You grow with your parents though.
Like
if you had young parents, you're growing up with them. Now let's be clear. They're not knowing themselves, and then you got a whole, like you said, a whole nother being. So now you're navigating through this. I always say you take the first 12 years really living out the things that your parents know off their own intellect. Fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, because everybody has different avenues or corridors, but it's okay as long as we're gonna navigate that. We're navigating and healing from things that we might have went through with our parents, but now look at this beautiful union. This is how it was supposed to be. Like, so I don't want to get in. I never say I want to regret anything. Anybody ask me, I don't care how tumultuous, like. And I say that with sensitivity because some people have been through a lot. But diamonds are made under pressure. That's my thing. Diamonds are made under pressure, and if you know the process of a diamond or how to create a pearl, that shit is black. Can I cuss? Okay, look.
Hold on, time out. I'm about to tell you this.
Look.
I'm about to tell you this.
Bitch.
My wife, she's basically she's opening up. When she asks, can she curse and all this stuff.
No,
I just want to make sure the kids.
She's opening up.
Yeah.
Kids, anybody. That's when that's not to mean to cut you off, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as a kid, be a kid, experience childlike things, and none of it, like you said, back to experience. you haven't lived my experience. I haven't lived your experience. You know what I'm saying? So like, we have to respect that. That's all spirituality is to me. And then for like, as a child, you're looking around you in this world, and then it becomes limitless because of the restraints of like religion. You get what I'm saying? And especially for us, because we've talked. So like, you put this limit on a child, and you like, okay, I can't believe in Santa Claus anymore.
I can't cuss.
But they don't know no better.
I can't. You get what I'm like?
Yeah,
cursing is a
ignorance.
bad thing.
Yeah.
No, cursing is just made up
It's just
words.
an
It's
expression.
just it's
Understand.
and like you say, growing up, like with our daughter, she's growing with me. I grew with my mom. You know, like I stayed with my grandmother. They raised me, but at the same time, me and my mom raised each other. And I was like, dang, that's kind of dope. Like,
It's
when I
beautiful.
thought about it, I kind of like, I saw my mom do some things that I'm doing when I was in college. At the time, like, oh, my light's about to get cut off. Hold on, time out. Hold on, who I need to call? Hey, can I do? And I didn't know it, but at the time, I was like,
She in survival mode.
my mom did the same. I was just doing, oh, you know what? We live in life. This is life. You get what I'm saying? Like, I thought adulting was something different, but it's just living life.
That's
Like,
it.
I experienced it with my mom, going through it with my mom, seeing things as truth. Like, as parents, we try to cover up a lot of truth,
Yeah.
which
that's
is
so
okay because you do have to protect children. But at the same time, it's like,
true, to a certain extent.
you see it. Explain it to them.
So,
You get what I'm
one
saying?
one word that, man, has been really bothering me in this past like couple weeks is protect. It's so violent.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's
So I hear things like protect your peace, protect your energy.
Okay.
It's so violent, but instead of protect and peace in the same sentence, it's
Right.
contradiction.
I don't think so. You need that balance.
You need a balance.
You know why?
Chill.
You know, I'm about to tell you this.
All right, I need to hear it.
Circle back to you being that person. You telling you your own character. You your own hero
Yeah,
in your story, right?
yeah.
I let you in my world. You let me in your world. We're kids,
So we both got two different heroes.
right? Okay.
That's how
I'm my
villains-
hero. You your hero, right?
That's how villains get created.
Right. But at the same time, I'm about to break it down. So we're friends. I let you in my world. You let me in your world. But I cut you down, your ego down. You cut my ego down. As kids, we're not balanced. And okay, that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's a good and bad. The day must go on. But at the same time, I don't like Dexter anymore. He ain't no hero to me. I chop down your story. I become the villain in your story.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why should I interrupt your peace? You let me in.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you let me in. I was your friend. I'm fucking protecting my peace. I'm married to her, but like, you think she let me mess with her peace? Fuck no. She don't.
That's why they make man caves.
Yes, you get what I'm saying?
They
Like,
down there.
like,
you
like,
had to have that
Yeah,
balance,
like-
that
yeah.
little
like you
boundary.
been.
Yeah.
Like,
It all
boundaries,
goes
that's what
back
it
to
is.
being a kid, bro. If I was never stripped of this as a kid, you know how far I'll be?
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro, if I was never told I had a speech impediment, do you know how far I'd be? If you was never told something negative about yourself to kill your hero, how far would you be?
and it's usually not negative. It's just different.
Different.
Right.
And
Yes.
and they put this negative light on it, and so now you're looking at yourself that way, just like you said, like, and that's putting that little like it's limiting you.
Yeah.
That limit on you. Like,
Yep.
now you look at yourself through this filter that somebody else looks at you through, and they're only looking at you that way because of their projecting.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, and it's just,
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, you
all
know what I'm
about
saying?
perspective.
Like it's. I get where you're saying. Like it is negative, but like, bro, I fought hard for this, bro. I fought hard to be at peace. You get what I'm saying? Like if I come to your house and I take your stuff, you're gonna be like, bro, that ain't no. Like I'm disrupting your peace in a sense. You know, even when you know, like I say, like we're in a union. Me and my wife have an understanding. Okay, cool. If she come to me, she's like, hey, listen, I'm unbalanced right now. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Is that me? Is it you? Is it what's going on? So I'm projecting what I'm feeling onto her, but she's coming to me in truth. It's hard to take the truth about anything, even about us. It was hard for me to think about religion and hearing the truth. I was like, so you telling me it ain't no Santa Claus? You know what I'm saying? Like for real. So I'm just thinking like Jesus is fake or Jesus is you know, I'm just like, whoa, hold on, time out. So when you get told the truth about anything, it's hard to take. So
it makes you question other stuff.
yeah.
Too.
It's a discovery.
And I'm gonna protect my peace, man, if I'm fighting hard to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially as an adult, you already know the traumas you've been through.
Yeah.
The stuff you experience, whatever that may be. And you be like, oh man, I ain't gotta worry about nobody shooting me, killing me. You know, like that peace, whatever
Right.
it may be. You be like, then you get caught up with whatever it may be in reality, and somebody try to take that, bro.
Yeah.
I want
Go ahead. Okay,
I
that's
just want to hear more about your perspective of why you feel like it's a contradiction too.
I
I
feel like peace is peace.
It's like
Peace
water.
is peace. It's there when you have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I get the notion that you're saying peace is like this this water, flowing water, and if you're saying you're protecting it, you're building a dam somewhere. Is that where you feeling?
I feel like when you say protect, it's like the reason why peace is because there's nothing to protect.
Right. Okay, I get.
You know
I
what
was
I mean?
feeling what you were saying. Yeah.
It's like I could feel open in my space.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right. It's like if this were like a war or something, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And or like even us sitting here, like if we built some type of barricade up here to protect our peace, but like if there's no war, what do we? It's peace.
Yeah.
Why are we building the door?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like that.
perfect.
That's what I was
I got
getting.
you.
Yeah,
I
that's the
was
only reason why
getting
I'm
it
saying.
too.
That's the only,
Yeah.
that's the only reason why I said it is because, you know, and I get it. Like, I feel like the environment that we are in, like today, like the national, like the way the world is today, you have to protect yourself. I just wanted to hear a different perspective than my
Yeah.
own, and that's why I asked it.
No, I feel you though.
Yeah.
I feel it both ways.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say that it's about boundaries more than I know what you're saying about the free flowing of I don't have to build a resistance against something that's supposed to already be free and
Right.
open. But I think the connotation that we're hearing now in this day and time is that you have to establish those boundaries because people will take advantage. They won't know how far to go. Their ego will be imposed on you. Their views, their feelings, their beliefs will be imposed on you. But I'm sitting over here and I'm chilling. So you trying to come and just pretty much knock on my door and create a situation.
Right.
And
Just
sometimes
like
they don't even know they're being that.
Exactly.
Because
It's
that's just their
subconscious.
journey, and they think, you know, it's not necessarily negative,
Right.
but it can be to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like you sit and watch my videos for the whole hour. You don't agree with anything I'm saying, but you just watching it to critique me at the end.
Yeah.
But that's my point of view and that's my perspective. You can get the hell off my channel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
but that
Basically.
view is helping you regardless.
Right.
So it's like,
But sometimes you need that.
Stick in the water.
You do, and because it makes you grow. And sometimes, if we be honest, like we went through this life, believing certain things, and then something inwardly challenges, not a person. It might be something, a nugget they drop, but something inwardly challenges you. Then you sit on your couch and you be like, okay, let me be honest about the truth of the matter. And then that truth just kind of evolves into what it is that you feel like resonates with you. So yeah, I appreciate that we have to be careful with words though, because words have power. Just like we used to say back in the day, it's so much shit we used to say back in the day, especially older people. They say stuff and they putting curses out there. And you like, bruh, but you was just in church saying I'm abundant, you know. And I'm not trying to make anything about church, because if you're a Christian or whatever, I respect all across the board. I take it as it comes, as long as you respect me in return. And you know, but it's just a lot of things that we used to say. Like Les Brown, he's one of the phenomenal ones I like to listen to. He was like, let's stop saying practice makes perfect. Ain't no such thing as perfect until we transition from here. He said, what was it saying?
Practice make
improvement.
Yeah.
Yes, because you can always better your best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He said, we got to stop getting into this thing of perfection, and that's why we're so warped. Because every sect, every compartmentalized sect, whether it be religion or practice or whatever, it's like, I'm better than you and you're going to hell. And it's like, there's no need for that. We need to just remain fluid and let people just, as long as we ain't killing nobody, going against like the laws of the land as far as hurting your fellow man or whatever the case may be.
With the good of all, no harm. Yes, what is that expression?
Is it benevolent?
I'm just
do
thinking
good
about,
to your fellow man. That kind of energy.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
not
like,
gonna hurt you.
You can do anything as long as it is not harming someone.
Right.
You know, and like, I don't know. It's just
people
are so quick to analyze everything everyone else is doing, and like, I think from a spiritual perspective, like it's easy to look at other people, like especially now, like and going back to analyzing everything around you, like when I meet somebody and I feel like I can read them really well or whatever. Even if I'm reading you and I feel like I have not to like your whole personality, but I'm like, I got you pinned pretty well.
Right.
I'm not looking at it like, oh, this is how you are, and that's not like me, or you're like this, and I look at it negatively. I'm like, this is just how you are.
Right.
And I move on.
Yeah.
Like, I remember thinking about people, like, and analyzing things about them in a negative way, or being like, oh, like if you, I don't know, you like anything, like you let your kid sit on a tablet all day or something, or like I'm judging something about you, right? But I'm like, okay, like, so what? Like, that doesn't affect how I see you in, like, our relationship, our connection. That's just a flaw you have. And then you could look at me and analyze a flaw that I have. You know what I mean? So, it's like...
It's different dynamics.
Exactly.
I think sometimes when we try to analyze people, though, if we're not, like, trying to be careful, we're analyzing people based off of, like, other people that we've met in our life.
Yeah.
That we may pick up small little things. It might be small, and it might not be that. It might just be because the trauma, like we've been talking about, some trauma that you've had with other people is affecting your relationship with new people.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Triggers.
You know that saying of, like, if you don't learn, you'll keep getting sent the same lesson in different people if you don't learn it. I think that is so true, and like analyzing your relationships with people will really show you that. Like I look back at I look back at so many different things, like whether it's a family member or a friend or a relationship, and I'm just like there's people that I dated and then family members that like I can see that was the same lesson, even though it was a different relationship, and it's so wild like to see that. And to be in that full circle moment of like, what? It was the same situation. Why did I?
That's your awareness, man. That's like, honestly, like when you start seeing like that, you start seeing patterns, you start seeing synchronicities of anything. That's when you know you're on your journey. That's when you know everything is syncing up spiritually. You get what I'm saying?
Because it's so clear to you.
Yeah, it's clear. It's just like,
you like, that's not them, it's me.
Man, you know what? Yeah.
If
you know
keep
what? Stop
going through
playing.
the same stuff and with different people, and then you start having the same outcome, and like old people say, everybody ain't lying on you, baby. Everybody ain't lying on you. Like if you're going through the same thing over and over again, you have if you're conscious enough and honest enough and want to grow. That's a whole nother.
That's
topic.
the thing. Grow.
If you want and have the desire to grow, then you'll sit down with yourself with some hard truths and be like, you know what? This was a theme running from relationship for relationship, from place to place, because people run from things too, thinking they can escape an environment. I'll feel better if I'm over here. No, you're still the same person over there, and you're gonna have the same. Yeah, it's just the same situation. It's gonna be replaying itself. So yeah, I think it's just all about growth. It's all about growth. For instance, this might not have anything to do with this particular. I was a Christian minister. Right.
This has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it does.
What you mean? This is spiritual.
No, but
this is
I'm
spirituality.
trying not to degrade. I'm not degrading anything of my foundation because it still comes back up. Bible verses still come back up. Things from Allah, things from Yoruba culture still come back up.
Can I tell you why?
Yes, sir.
You know why, but can I tell the people why?
Tell the people why, sir.
Because it's all same thing and it's all the same base.
Yeah, you're right. I was just going to make the distinction that of the flow.
No, I know.
Of just letting yourself merge into those different things that cross what we would call a line in the sand, and just flowing with that and being honest. Like at the moment you decide or realize I have not been accurate with myself in this thing right here, then that's the growth to grow. And that's spirituality in a nutshell.
Yeah. Spirituality is a lot. To me, spirituality is I have this theory in my head. But spirituality to me is like knowing the truth with a capital T. Like I want to know the truth about whatever it may be.
And research that. Don't be
yeah,
just going off of what
you know, the truth about myself, the truth about Christianity, because that was the faith that I practiced growing up. Like I didn't know nothing else.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about truth is that it's consistently changing.
Yes, it is.
So that's the best part about spirituality is that it just continues to change.
That is so true.
Continues to mold, continues to grow.
I like that.
Hey, so one of the key words in spirituality is spirit.
Spirit.
So I remember we were talking, right?
Yeah.
And you said something that kind of like stuck with me, but I can't remember it word for word.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were talking about spirits, can you elaborate on like how that intertwines with spirituality and the spirits of the drinks?
Oh, because it's an outward thing that's influencing you inward. Ooh. So sometimes it's the thing within in our alignment, and if you're in tune with your higher self, but then sometimes it's those extensions that influence you too. So when I say spirit, I mean at the cellular level, we get down like all of this goes together. I'm sorry, it all goes together. Like at the cellular level, like these are chemicals that influence too, and then those chemicals. We're holistic beings. Let me start there. There is your spirit is separate from your body is separate from your mind is separate from your emotions are separate from your organs. Like it is all intertwined. That's first thing. So anything you ingest, and we have to do everything in moderation, because even some things everything in excess is still can be considered bad. But we was talking about like the alcohol. Anything in excess, if I go out and become belligerent to the point where I'm losing myself, I'm not in tune, then that's overindulging in anything. And it can be anything. It could be video games, it can be TV, it can be anything. So those things influence. I'm trying to remember exactly what I referenced in that time that I talked to you, but am I answering?
We were talking about a lot. I remember.
Yeah, am I on the wavelength of what we were talking about?
Yeah.
So our part, like back in the day, I used to feel like you don't want anything to influence you from your thinking. But at the end of the day, you still have control, and how much your limits, and you know how much to feel like, okay, I done did too much, and that's influencing me in this, and then it comes out in your behavior or your actions or whatever the case may be. But having wine, I mean, I'm good with whatever.
You're making a little nice drinks.
Expectation management is a big thing. Like if I see how things are with you and you see how things are with me, I can't expect you to be anybody different than what you are, and I'm okay with that.
It was hard for me to accept that too.
Really?
Like to get over like my own expectations with other people.
You want to take a spirit shot?
But I think
on
that
camera?
was like me not accepting myself. So then it was harder for me to accept others.
Gotcha.
Like that's really what that was for me.
That's good that she said that. I
What?
think that needs to be recorded.
What?
Because
It was.
she said something very, very, very paramount. You know what you, and essentially you said when you became more self-aware, it made you more open. It allowed you to be more open with others. And I think that's very important, because when you're self-aware, then you are not like, it's the expectation. Like it's
because
different.
You put all that judgment and all that, whatever it is, like onto yourself.
Yes.
So much, and you don't even realize it. And then once you do, and once you kind of, even if you don't realize it, you just kind of like are not doing it as much without realizing you're not doing it as much, you don't have those expectations for people, and you're so much more accepting because like you're self-accepting.
Oh my God!
Like,
So I got
you
something.
got that?
Yeah,
Look,
I got something.
that
I got
was
something
good.
for all of us.
Let me. I'm sorry. Let me finish my thought if I forget, because you know my brain pan will tilt real easily. The self-awareness is like the root of the spirituality piece, of the spirit piece. It's the self-awareness, the bare bones, the ground level part of us. That is so everything builds off of that.
Yeah.
Everything builds off of that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I got two things. So one thing is basically like, the self-awareness of like yourself, right? And it's hard to tap into because of the boundaries we've been given. And programmed. So I want to hit on that because how we was just talking, I can do something, I can talk about something, I can speak on something. And like I said, back as a kid, you didn't have no money, no nothing, but you know what you wanted for Christmas. You'll manifest that in your head. You'll see it on TV. You'll write it down. You'll tell your parents, you'll tell whoever, I want this, I want that, I want this. Come that day, you got it. How did you get it?
Manifestation.
You manifest
I think
it.
we should really touch on manifestation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm about to. So like when you think about it, the awareness that we have when we do, you be like, oh my goodness, how did I do this? Where did this come from? It's the work aspect that people don't talk about. That's what spirituality is too. I don't just sit around and be like,
it's gonna come.
You know what? Yeah, the universe gonna match y'all, line everything up. No, get up. Okay,
And
I thought about it. Let me get up. Let me make
huge,
it do it.
especially right now with like, I'm not saying that like spirituality is like trending, but it kind of is. Everybody, like especially like with TikTok, as big as it is, and it's like tarot readings all over TikTok, and people think like, okay, I can just manifest and I can just.
We doing the tarot?
I say.
I just felt the need to grab them.
Oh my God!
Like I can just, I want this, so I'm gonna get it. Like I don't have to. Like you said, you got to put the work in. But a big thing about manifesting is, once you stop looking at everything as like, this is what I want, this is what I want.
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna have it, because
That's
you're
exactly
putting
right.
all the energy you're putting into the want. You're never gonna get it, because all your energy is focused on wanting it, not having it.
Yes, say it, sis.
And
Say that one more time.
and
Run it back. Run it back.
All the energy you
Rewind.
put into wanting it is taking away from the energy of having it. You have to really look at things, whether it's, you want this car, you want this job, you want this podcast to be successful.
Right.
You have to truly believe that it is. And that comes also with that self-awareness and with that self-reflection of like, that you can't do it, and you're putting that work in towards that. And like, once you just stop like wanting everything, the things you want will be the things you have. Like,
believe you have it.
You should never have to. You have to think about it. Like, it's crazy that I keep referring to this, but like, as an artist, I get to play out all my childhood fantasies in a way. Like I'm the creator. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I want to create something, I'm like, I can create it. Yeah. I know I can. Like, I just have to think about it and put the work into it and put the action into it. That's why people hate Kanye.
I was just talking to somebody about him.
So think about it. Like, Kanye's like, I don't want to do this, or I want to do this. You'd be like, no, like, this man is really telling y'all, like, he's about to live out his reality that he's thinking in his head.
Good, bad,
just like we thought about it.
I just love when Kanye says Walt Disney.
You just Walt Disney, bro. He be so animated, and it's just like, one, he has the passion. Two, he's believing in whatever he's believing in, which is himself.
Swords.
Three, he ain't got no limits on it. So that's like, to me, that's God-like.
Yeah.
But if you watch that documentary,
we saw
the documentary.
You see where it came from. His mother did his mother.
Yeah.
Think about it.
She always
as a child.
She put that seed, planted that seed in the back of his head.
And you know what? She was also truthful with him.
Yeah.
She was like, "You're good, Kanye. You're good, but I also want you to think about this." She balanced it.
Yeah.
She didn't just praise him and praise him and praise him.
And that's what we need.
I think a lot of people take Kanye too and love to look at him as like, oh yeah, but he's crazy, or he's whatever. he's on such a huge platform.
Mm-hmm.
If you take him and you look at him as if he was your brother or your friend, like, and what he's doing wasn't like broadcasted across the entire world, you wouldn't be thinking about it like that.
No,
But
you're
because
right.
For who you is.
Yeah,
exactly,
yes,
exactly. Like he messed up, like, or he fucked up,
Yeah.
like you know, and it's
all of us
like,
do.
yeah,
Will
and
Smith.
people
That's a thing
love
right now trending. We ain't gonna get on it, but
people for real, because I got
because
things to say
I
about
love Will Smith for the podcast.
You'll be on the next episode.
Next episode. Okay.
Yeah, we could touch on Jada because I want to talk about Jada.
Yeah.
That's the next one.
But no, I
no,
feel you, Kels. I feel you, man. Like,
he's just like, people love to focus on his outlandish like things that aren't even important. But like you said, he's an artist, and he puts out so much. And there's little things that people don't even realize. Like if you look at his album progression, all of his albums are all the songs on his albums tell a story, and it's literally the story of his life. Right. And each album is released with intent of like what's going on in a specific order. And people know about it, but like things like that, people aren't even looking at that, but they're like, oh, he posted about Pete or whatever. Yeah, like you're focusing on that. And you're
which is bad,
right?
Because,
but that's what I'm saying. That's his flaw.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's the balance that you have to have. And I feel like as artists, which all four of us are, in our own respective ways, as an artist, you just you feel like, bro, I can do whatever I want. Like I am my own creator, and it's great to have that, and it's great to install that in your kids. And if we had more parents do that and teach kids that, I feel like in school, like I said before at the beginning, bro, if I wasn't given these limitations, where would I be? Like, my
mom used to never let me. I wanted to put pink in my hair one time, and she was like, no. My aunt's a hairdresser. And so, like, eventually, I don't know, I convinced her. And I could only do it in the summer because I couldn't have it at school. And I had, like, the very underneath of my hair pink, like barely any, right? And I just was always like, why can I not, whatever? And now I've had red hair for like 6 years. So like, it's not a phase, Mom. Like I wanted to, I just wanted to express myself. And I was like, from a very young age, like restricted. And it's a cool thing too, because now like I have like younger cousins that are like 8 years old, and their mom lets them dye their hair all blue. Like, don't get me wrong, I think there is a balance, you should. Right. Yeah. But just that self-expression, like, it's important. Allowing children, it's so important, allowing children to be themselves, because it's so much easier when they're older to, like, really touch, like, within themselves, because they never had to, like, detach from that. I feel like when you're a child and you're raised in an environment where you have to kind of like detach from yourself, it's so much harder to like get back to you.
It's like being like a late blossom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, if you were able to experiment as a kid and mess up as a kid, when you hit your early 20s,
you're judged.
It's not even that you're judged.
When you get older,
people start looking at you crazy because you're outlashing.
Especially, and your fuck ups are bigger as an adult.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
They perpetuate. Unfortunately, nobody ever forgets. Like when I'm a child, you fell out of the tree and knocked the wind out.
You were 12,
key, but you're right. You it's like a perpetual reminder. When you mess up as an adult, unfortunately, and then you spend all that time trying to get rid of those convictions. I want to say something for the people that my spirit laid on me. A lot of times we don't manifest the things we want because we don't feel like we deserve it. And that's another thing. Fundamentally, do you deserve what you're asking for? Do you feel like you deserve it? Not where nobody else feel like you deserve it.
Right.
Do you feel like you deserve it? And then that comes back to the self-love and self-worth that we got to get into, because all that is part of spirituality in our foundation too. We have to learn that we deserve. I'm gonna quote a couple scriptures.
Okay. I think you should. I think you should
because it's relevant.
Because
faith is what we know. Come on, I ain't telling. Come on, Baptist. Look, come on. But anyway, faith is the evidence of things hoped for. It's the things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. The evidence of things not seen.
Whatever you just said.
Okay, but I'm just saying, what I'm basically trying to say is we have to realize that we deserve these things. We let our own missteps, unforgiveness, regret, keep us from being our highest self, keeping us from being elevated. Because why? We are stuck in this world of we got to be perfect. Nothing is perfect.
So it's almost like even your successes don't really seem like their successes because they're not perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And even your failures don't seem like they have value.
Mm-hmm.
And they do.
And they do.
And they
So-
People love to overlook their failures.
Yes.
But I've learned every failure.
Everyone.
So much from every failure.
Everyone.
You have to
I fail all
learn.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And like you're smiling about it. But seriously, like sometimes
beautiful.
in the moment it doesn't always feel like
Right. I
But like
up.
afterwards,
Yeah.
But afterwards, when you can look back on it, even the next day, sometimes I'll do something. I'm like, you know what? I really did need that.
It's the
Like
learning. It's
It's
the
your-
learning.
it's-
Let's
it's your-
go on
you
the
learn.
journey. Let's
You
go on
learn.
this ride.
when you learn to really like, when you can look at things like things that are happening to you in that very moment that are shitty or that you did that are shitty, and right then you can be like, you know what? Whatever. Like you really can let it go right then. It's like, wow, like when I had the first couple of moments like that, I was like, damn, I'm like, nothing really can stop me. Like
Yeah.
that's when I really feel like I stepped into that like main character energy. I'm like, oh, this is just a part of it. Like
Main
You
character
become more
energy.
forgiving.
No,
I like
like
I
that
like
too.
I like
that
I
that.
tell
Let's
everybody
go.
Let's
that.
snap on that main character.
Let's
energy.
go.
I tell everybody that.
Wow, man.
That's hey for real. When he said that, I was thinking that too. I'm just like, bro, you are the main character. Like I can't come in your story
Yeah.
and
Unless-
I
interrupt
like
your
that
journey.
analogy
Like
too.
Yeah,
like I can't interrupt your journey. Your spirituality is your journey to your highest self.
But-
even though we're married, whatever helps her and takes her to get her to her highest self, I have to let that be. You know what I'm saying?
Because in turn, that also uplifts
me.
you.
Yeah, so, like,
in your relationship,
it's
Yeah.
hard to get that truth in the sense of like, okay, this person don't need me in their spiritual journey.
But you gotta.
Ooh, wait,
We're
I-
very.
Go
One
ahead.
second.
Go ahead.
I'm just because I don't want to leave this part.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine people that don't feel like they are the main character in their own movie.
Damn.
I used to feel like that.
You know
It's
what
a
I mean?
lot.
Wow.
It's a lot, and it started as a kid.
It's crazy, right?
It started as a kid, bro.
Like you are your own person, right? And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't feel like you're a
You
star in your own
yeah.
show.
It's the
Wow.
awakening
So
moment.
we are very strong people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we might not be the strongest people in the world,
Right.
but we're strong people.
We're stronger than we were for sure.
So for sure, we got that main character energy.
Hell yeah.
But there's a
I
lot
like
of people
that.
that
And
don't
you
have
got
it.
that main character. Which one is mine? And you have that.
Bro.
Yes.
I remember, like, for real, like, this is kind of like dumb, but like waking up and not being able to like even go in public without looking a certain way or like wearing a certain.
Come on.
Like seriously, like I would spend
love
so
this.
much time like getting ready to go, even if I was going to like the store. Like I'm not even doing anything. Like, and now I wake up and I'm like, it's not that I don't like the way I look, but even if I wake up and I kind of feel like whatever, I'm like, this is what I look
Not a
like.
big
It's
deal.
me.
I everywhere I go today, I'm looking at everybody, and that's what they look like.
You love your true self.
Self-acceptance.
You
You
know
love
what I'm
your true
saying?
self, man.
Like it. Oh my god.
That's your
like,
true self. What you see, what you wake up, what you see in the mirror that day. If you want to throw on makeup, if you don't want to throw on makeup, that's your true self. You get what I'm saying? That's your true self.
I want to talk about the mirror.
Okay, what you want to talk?
Because that's a part of
Ooh.
getting into your mirror gazing. One thing I've been sharing with my queens in particular, get naked though in the mirror and look at yourself, and that's one way of self-acceptance. That's spiritual too. All of what we're talking about is spiritual, so I ain't gonna keep bringing that as a disclaimer. But just self-acceptance, acknowledging your flaws, your scars, your bruises, your fat, your stretch marks, whatever the case may be, your dark spots, your freckles, whatever.
Buy more mirrors.
Yes, buy more mirrors. And for the people, it's just a way to just begin to embrace yourself. And then it gets deeper. It gets deeper than this after a while,
Yeah.
because this is just a shell that we all portray and that we all present. But it gets deeper when you able to get that mirror gaze, and that's a part of a spiritual practice, actually, to look into yourself. Ain't nothing like looking in your own mug. Ain't nothing like looking in your own mug. And
I
be like,
wite little things on my mirror
yes,
all the time.
affirmations. That's beautiful.
Let's talk
So then
about
I'm looking at
tools.
myself, I'm reading that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
let's talk about like tools and stuff for spirituality, or just tools to enhance like your spiritual awakening. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you wake up and be like, okay, this is how I look.
That mirror's a tool, though.
Yeah,
It is a very-
right.
yeah.
That's a reflection of like, okay, I'm looking at my highest self right now. You get what I'm saying? Like right now at this moment, this is my highest been. But you want to improve throughout the day. So like tools that people use, practice, different practices, man. Like meditation. You know what I'm saying? Like if we meditate for 5 minutes, man, you can meditate and think about
that means the world.
Let me breathe. Let me relax. Let me think about how I'm gonna get my day. Let me just put into the universe what I want out of today. You get what I'm saying?
Right
just like I say,
I got a tool for you right
spirit,
here.
spirits are tools.
Right here.
Spirits are tools.
Partake.
We use this to,
I shake.
Use
I
this
used
as
to
a
look
tool.
at meditating like it was like a foreign thing. Like
Yeah.
like when I really didn't know a lot about. I used to say like I'm not religious because I feel like there's how many religions in the world.
Right, it's a lot.
And I know about this one that I was raised on. So how do I know that's what I am?
Right.
If you don't know about all this, how do you know what you believe in? So that's what I used to say. So like to me, like just the word meditation, I used to like relate to like I don't know, like Buddhism
Yeah, I
or
did too.
like very spiritual. I didn't realize like not to be I don't know how to work, but like normal people can be spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like I had this like visualization of like what spiritual people look
Christians
like.
are spiritual. You get what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And I just had this like warped vision of it. And so then when I started, the first time I meditated, I was like I don't want to say it was like unreal, but I was really like, whoa, like I really just meditated. And it wasn't even like a full, because it takes a lot to like really get into your like zone of like meditating.
It takes
and then
a lot
the second time I
because-
meditated, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like levitating.
Yes,
or
because I was
just
like, this is
high?
unreal. Because the first time I think I was so nervous and I was so like, just like, I don't want to say I didn't believe in it, but it was just like, I didn't know what to expect kind of. Oh my God.
That prana
Just let
came
go,
through.
though.
Everybody should meditate.
Yes.
I think everyone should meditate.
Everybody here meditate, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
You just
like,
let go.
It's that prana.
yeah. So
that
what was
prana
your
energy.
first? Like she just said hers. Like what was
Man.
yours?
Oh my God. It was all about the breath. It was about the breath. Starting out with that. We don't breathe deep. People don't breathe deep. When I tell people when I start out massaging, I'm like, take 3 deep breaths. You'd be surprised. But that life force cleanses everything, even on the cellular level. It cleanses everything so that you can clear your mind.
Because all day,
And
all
then-
you're doing is just like quick
Yeah.
breaths. Quick breaths.
And
No,
it's-
like,
yeah, not intentional deep breaths. And so when I started that, I felt the chemistry of my body change. It was like a calm, it was like a euphoria high. That's why when I forgot what that guy's name is, his name ends with Wolf. He does this type of breathing that it accelerates the oxygen in your cells and it can make you feel high. If you're not careful in excess, it can make you pass out too. But it's a healing mechanism. People like, I can get so deep, but okay, let me stay on course. Because they can go so many different ways with just the breath work. I can't think of the guy's name. I wish I had wrote it down. But that can just do so much in your body, like holistic being. But it made me feel high. And then I could start to just have a feeling. I was in touch with my feelings. We don't feel enough. We think about the external things and we don't take time to tap in. I listened to Abraham Hicks. I don't know if y'all heard of this collective consciousness called Abraham Hicks. And Esther is the lady that's channeling this collective consciousness called Abraham. And she talked about the breath work and then the collective beings, the guides that are assisting her, they're able to come in because she's cleared. She's cleared the energy so that it's a direct channel from her to her higher self. And she's able to channel messages. And you could tell the spirit, she makes no stutter, no stammer. No stutter, no stammer. It's like no human element. That is perfection.
Right.
Spirit is perfection.
Right.
And so that's why it's our compass. But to answer your question, the first time I felt it, it was like a high. I felt high. I had never even smoked weed before at the time. I didn't even know what high was except for me to be like euphoric off of alcohol. But it was like a natural high and I felt clarity. And I found myself talking to my higher self with everything I did as if I was sitting here talking to you. And it was like a friend. It was a friend. Like, it's a friend. It was like somebody tangible that I'm like, okay, So you tell me how I'm supposed to do this. And I'm talking back with them. They talking back with me in my own voice. And sometimes they'll tell me when I'm messing up too. Like, now damn, damn well you're supposed to do that.
Right.
It's a relationship built. So that's what meditation did to me. It strengthened my relationship. I already had a relationship, and I called that relationship the Holy Spirit, but then I expanded it to my ancestors, to my spirit guides. Then I started learning about how you have souls and spirit beings that are here for you in this life,
Right.
and then different stages of your life. And then I started getting into spirituality with the Yoruba, with the 7 African powers, and it just
Right.
started expanding from there. And all of these archetypes that come to assist you in the attributes, and it's like, damn.
So I got a question for you. You religious?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Religion to me is something you just do over and over again,
Right.
and it's repetitive without thinking. But your spirit
Religion
is like your
is
more
routine.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
routine. But you're more conscious and intentional and in tune. You know that there's something higher than yourself that's your compass is governing you.
Mhm.
If you lend permission to it
Right.
or them
Right.
or whatever you call,
Right.
you lend permission. I'm asking you to communicate with me in a way that I can understand and comprehend.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that either. Especially when you talk about spirituality, meditating, lighting candles. This is just little incense. So like, you can tell if you understand about incense, candles.
Can y'all read incense?
No, I can't. But I've heard of people, and my wife is she's very
I can't
gifted, and
You can read incense?
I ain't gonna say I can read it, but I notice that it flows. Like when I'm doing my readings,
Where
I
it's
always,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like sage or incense, and
Yeah.
and the way it flows, it speaks to me.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can.
gonna let
I'm
me
just saying,
finish?
Like I can just feel
But-
it. It's not something I can interpret all
yeah.
the time. But go ahead.
No, so I light incense in here all the time
Mm-hmm.
because like the boxwood on the wall was like it was
Yeah.
a pungent smell,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just trying to get rid of it. I've never seen it flow this way ever.
Really?
It just flows one way.
Wow.
So I don't know how to read incense.
That's okay.
I can tell you what I know.
Yeah,
I
Go
can tell you
ahead.
what I know.
it's all over the room.
Yeah.
Yo, like
Yeah.
I've been ever since I lensed it. Like I've been just noticing you. I don't know if you see me just looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw
you.
That's why I
it's
was
like
saying
it
that.
has its own shape.
So that's why I was asking if you could read the incense because
No,
like
I mean,
yeah,
I
I don't
could
know
tell
the
the
energy
flow.
in this room is dope.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
100%.
flows a different way. When I'm doing my readings, I can definitely notice it. It'll go one way and then it'll swirl. It's just, it has a message.
Yeah.
And it's a feeling. It's not even something you can put in words.
Right.
It's just more of a feeling connected. It's like, Spirit, I know you're here with us right now. And thank
Yeah.
you, Spirit, God, angels, ancestors.
Yes,
divine.
yes, and
Let me
and
just give salutations.
yes,
thank you.
thank you,
that you're
thank
here
you,
with
thank
us.
you.
Gratitude.
Yes,
Ashe,
gratitude.
ashe.
So like for us, especially for me, meditation, spirituality, that's all in my practice of being an artist. I tapped in my spirituality a long time ago as a kid, I felt like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I really tapped into it and understood like, bro, I got superpowers. Like literally like I got superpowers. Was like 2010. I remember like just sitting there like, bro, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. You know. And then just manifesting stuff. Like I wanna do this. I wanna do that. And it took the work. It's like, oh, let me do this. Oh, let me do and it's like, bro, I put in the work. Why shouldn't I get this? You get what I'm saying? Like why I wrote this paper.
Yeah.
I should get into this school.
Mm-hmm.
No, I found myself like personally like I'm a videographer,
Yeah.
photographer. Like just trying to like help people out. Like I'd be like, man, I got you for the low. I can do it for the low.
Yeah.
But like really, the work that I was putting in was like, well, it was overwhelming for me sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
going out my way. Like I'd be like, bro, don't worry about it. Like we friends. And I didn't realize like, bro, it's like at the end of the day, like, man, you should be reciprocated.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
Absolutely.
selling yourself short. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
selling myself short, and it wasn't.
No, I get you, bro.
For
Don't
me,
feel
for me
apologized.
personally, I've been into like where I've taken something that I really loved,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and I turned it into a business,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it felt less like something I loved, you know what I mean, like I
Right.
lost touch with that thing.
Well, explain that because the goal of life, I would think, is that you do something you love and get paid for it.
But there's a lot of factors involved in that too.
Business sucks.
It does.
Yeah,
it
you're
does.
Right. Business
you
sucks.
know,
Right, you're right. And that's
It's
the thing.
important, but it sucks.
That's the
It
thing.
does.
And you look at me,
Yeah.
and you can tell. I won't say you can tell within like just me, but like you can kind of see like I'm in the studio late at night. I don't even come to bed until you wake up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's just like.
But you're an artist.
You get
You're
what I'm
creative.
saying? The same with you.
But
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
it's
Like
business
it's
stuff. Is what you're saying.
like
The business
the like
stuff
the
is hard for
business.
us.
It
Yeah,
is.
like I just
I
want to
got
Some
create.
people are really good at it.
I got a solution. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I just want to create and create and create.
So for us that know that the business part of it is taxing, you find somebody that's skilled at doing the managing the business.
Yeah.
Like for my husband, I don't mind doing the contracts and stuff. I like it because I feel like it makes me pay attention to detail, which is something I learned in the military. Or somebody dying, if you don't pay attention to detail, somebody's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really good and keen on that. So I tell my husband, you go downstairs and you create, and you bring the business part to me. So that's my suggestion. If you feel like the hate of it or the disdain of doing something you love and getting paid for it gets taxing, then you outsource that. You begin to outsource that so it doesn't feel so taxing, because the object and the love of it is that we get paid for what we want to do.
Right.
Like we say, I wish I had more time going to a 9 to 5. Nothing's wrong with that. We say, I wish I had more time to do this. This is fulfilling. This doesn't feel like work. My husband, he stays up like hours and I don't know. I'm like, you want to sleep? but it fuels him, and I had to learn that that's his thing.
Yeah.
You know, just like traveling and massaging on people for hours and hours, because it's an exchange for me as well as the person. That's their thing. But you got to find a way to leverage that. If that's something that's taxing for you, then you outsource that. You pay for your convenience sometimes.
Balance it
of
out.
that.
Balance it
So
out.
that's my solution.
Quick.
So videography, if you don't like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
business part, you know, it's people that'll do the business part.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I think in the society we live in too, there's a big push on like being so like doing everything yourself, and like
Right.
you do it all. You know, you're the artist and the businessman and
Right.
and like it's okay to not be all of that.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
you can just be the artist.
How do you suffice even doing lashes? Like that's an art. It's just in its
Yeah,
own.
yeah, yeah.
It is, and
Because I'm looking at him flying away. and I'm about to say, I'm
She the
making
last.
a
Hey,
comment.
look, she the last queen over here.
But for me, it's simple right now, you know. But if I took it to another level of like, you know, I want to open my own business, like actually have a shop. I could not run I mean, I don't want to limit myself. I think that I really could if I put in the
If you
work.
manifested
But
it.
if
There we go.
I
Manifest, baby.
I know myself pretty well, and
Yeah.
I think that I couldn't be consistently working, actually doing lashes while running the business.
Right.
I could do lashes to the point where I could open my business and hire workers. But I don't think I really could do both, because I need that like separation.
You know what? I'm extremely glad that you said that, because at the end of the day, that's exactly where I was kind of trying to get to, but you
Yeah.
kind of like brought it to light for me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like as an artist, if you want to be successful and you want to get to the business part, you have to separate yourself from the art.
That's true.
Yeah, you do.
sucks.
You do. You do,
It
bro.
really sucks. It's
You
like
do.
You do.
It's
I
like
learned that in
That's
school.
my tax
Nothing
time.
is free is when, and we were just
I learned that in school, big time, man.
yeah,
like,
we were just talking about like being kids and how like we were able to like color and read.
yeah,
and,
man. You can color
know,
outside the lines,
like,
bro.
you know, your nieces, they're dyeing their hair blue. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
able to express themselves freely
Right.
without
Yeah.
having to worry about like what life is throwing at them.
Right.
You know what's going on with their life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Maybe like minimal things like stuff that they're navigating in school, like bullies and people that you know may have a different opinion, or people that don't like them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But and like, bro, like when you're trying to be an artist or you're trying to like do something extra on the
Yeah,
side,
bro, it's hard.
It's a lot.
It's hard.
like
I'm about to
and
tell you this.
You said that those hours, right? Those
Yeah.
hours he spends in that. It's because what it really matters. Like once you
Yeah.
leave your 9 to 5,
That's all.
that
Yeah.
6 to whatever
Yeah.
is what matters the most
You're
for you to
right.
be successful in that.
and
you know
back
what I mean?
and back to what Kel said. It's like, bro, like, why should I stop believing in myself?
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm working a 9 to 5, but at the same time, like,
he might get something.
why, bro?
I love
Quit.
when
Hey,
like that.
I can be
Like,
Malcolm
I'm
X
sorry.
for you. I can be Malcolm. No, but no,
I'll
like,
take a
why
drink to
should?
that.
No, let me take a drink.
Hey, hold on. We're gonna drink to success.
Oh,
Hold
I ain't
on.
got a drink.
Yeah,
Hold on, we
hey,
gonna
hey,
pour you
pour
one,
up,
baby.
pour up.
We gonna
pour
pop the
up.
champagne. Let's pop the champagne. Let's stop playing.
I can't mix.
Yeah,
okay.
I about to say
Alright,
she
we
got
no,
the.
We
y'all
still got
can
some more
pop it.
chocolate wine. I thought
Hey, this right here is like a natural spirit. So
Which
natural.
one is which
all natural. I'm
Oh.
just drinking this natural spirit right here.
There we go.
All organic.
No,
But no, we're gonna toast to this podcast being a success that I
Hey,
already
I
said.
needed it. I needed it.
Us being successful, us being successful, us being successful
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
whatever endeavors we embark on, man. Appreciate you for this, man. I
Thank
just
you,
want to take
Dexter.
that time out, as everybody say, give each other your flowers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Hey.
but no, like
Love you.
I really appreciate this, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take that little time out. that
Yeah,
little
we got
segue.
it.
It feels real good, right? I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like for real. Ashe though.
Ashe.
Peace and blessings. But to back to what we was talking about, like Kel said though, why should I stop believing in myself?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like why? Like that's why I love Kanye, bro. I did a project on Kanye in grad school. And people was just like, you act like Kanye. Once they started like realizing who I was, like my classmate was like, yeah, I see you doing this project. You look like Kanye. Like you remind me of Kanye. And I'm like, bro, he from Chicago. So at the same time when I was doing my project, something came up on Twitter like, oh, we're giving Kanye a doctorate degree. Everybody was like, y'all
Was it
see this?
honorary?
Yeah, honorary doctorate degree. I was like, y'all see this? So we was like, yeah. Everybody tried to stop him from getting this degree.
Really?
Yeah, so they put in a petition to like for him to get the degree. As far as you like saying like his like just commitment to like developing like the art of music. You get what I'm saying? Like he is a genius.
He is.
He's
I
crazy
feel
in a certain sense, as people say, but he's a
But
genius,
that doesn't
man.
take away from his genius.
Like
you know?
he's a
Yeah.
genius. So like for me, like just seeing that pushed me because like, why should I give up on myself?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I know. Then I pull these tools, these meditations, these spirits, this, whatever these tools are to get me to my highest self or to get me to that point of like being the best me, living out my dream. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't share it with my wife my dream, but at the same time she's like, okay, I see you. But
And
it's
I think it's important to like realize that your best you only matters to you. Like a lot of people, it's hard for people to separate like that ego, that
Right.
outside source. Like
drop the ego.
your best you isn't what everybody wants you to be. Your best
That's
you
right.
is your best you.
That's
like
right.
Yep.
it is only important to you.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I want to
No,
cut you off.
it's okay.
Stay engaged for happiness too.
I'm glad you said that because I'm going to just speak personally with my family. The way I operate and the way I practice is totally different than the way we grew up and what we're used to. And I had to learn how to accept me and what makes me thrive. And at the end of the day, you learn, it's stages to that. You become unapologetically for what you, and I was going to say, what is higher self? For people that don't know what when we say higher self, it just seems like let's not that we can operationally define it, but if we could put it in words, what would you say higher self is?
I mean that, like I said, that's just your best version of
best
yourself
version
to
of
you.
yourself. Yes.
I agree.
And it be
In tune with who you are. I think that's important too.
Absolutely. And then realizing that there is it could be a higher power, whatever you call that higher power to be. Because there's different names depending on where you are and what you're raised. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I think
that's the fluid part of it. Yes.
I think higher self sometimes is crazy, but I look at my mom and my dad as being my higher self.
In a sense of
In a sense of like sometimes what I don't want to be and
Ooh.
what I could be.
That's a good spin.
You get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like I am a manifest of them. in a sense. You get what I'm saying?
A product. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I have wrote my own journey. I'm on my own journey. Like, I can't basically be like, oh, mom, come save me. Dad, come save me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, right now, it's me and you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I can't be like, babe, come save me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I
but
love
like,
you.
yeah. So like for
I love
me,
'em. I do.
I look at
Can't say
But
I look at my mom, my dad,
Relationships.
and then my ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
You touched on that. Like, I look at them as being my highest self. You know what I'm saying? Like, if my ancestor can get to this, what can I do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, higher self is also a reflection of the people I see or have seen. You know, they can be deceased too. You know, transitioning to that highest self of the highest being that we see, and that me and you understand. Like, hey, when you leave this life, right? Like, when you leave this, bro, you don't know where you go. That's the scary part that people don't understand about dying. Like, bro, you die.
And I'm not scared to die anymore.
Once you understand that this right
I don't
here,
understand one of those.
life,
yeah,
yeah, like, you don't want to, like, we're not sitting up here saying, oh,
We're not
I
ready,
don't,
But
yeah.
I'm not scared. But,
But
if I
at the
had
same
to,
time, like,
bungee jumping, no bungee.
yeah.
I ain't put myself out there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Prematurely.
But I feel like on your journey as being like a human and experiencing this like spiritual being of just being free and understanding this journey that you're in, you be like, bro, like, life is life.
It's beautiful.
It's a soul. Like, this soul is just what I'm here to do and what I'm here to experience. Like, your spiritual journey is an experience. Like, I feel like sometimes I've been here before.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Based off what you're saying. And what we just putting a little spin on it.
Yeah, no, what?
What do you think about people that feel like heaven is a destination versus having what we
As
would
an
consider,
idea?
yeah, versus living and enjoying, even in this imperfected being vortex with crime and everything? What do y'all feel about this still being a place of refuge, peace, love, even with everything else going around us in our vortex? It's not like our end all be all is when we leave this body. We have to learn how to adapt and have joy and peace and love and spread all that and have the fruits of that, our higher self, even now, right now.
So basically, what is heaven?
Okay, let her
or
answer.
you're insane.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I
well,
think-
since in a sense, what people deem heaven to be is this glorious place
Like you
that
live
you
your-
attain to get to.
You live your whole life to reach this point,
Right.
and then it's like
So-
ultimate peace. You know,
Yeah, but
I think that idea is it's essentially a bigger version of saying like, I want this, I want this, I want this, but you're never doing anything to really get to it. Why are you all the time? I mean, you ideally you live what, like, you could live 100 years, let's say, but let's just say like 90 years, right? You spend 90. I think for men it's
We
shorter
live
than
young.
It's way
women.
shorter.
Yeah,
We do dumb
it's
stuff.
probably like 40 now. I don't know.
I mean, we push kids out. We better live longer,
Yeah.
damn it.
Right.
Come
But
on.
no, I get what you're saying. Keep going.
But
on.
like, you know, you live, let's say 80 years, like just with the hopes of going to heaven, like, or you know, whatever. Like, I don't like the idea of like you go through all this pain and suffering and lessons in life, and there's good in there too, but you know, you do all of this just for that. When like,
Yeah.
I think you know, and religions are
crazy.
different. Like, everybody believes different things, and I think that's still valid. But to like idealize like heaven as like this ultimate thing you're reaching, when you could just kind of be living it
Right,
currently,
yes,
instead
that's
of
what I
just
want
like
to.
chasing after it in a way, you know, like
Yep.
like why constantly just be like looking to it when you could be living it? Like,
No, yeah, I
There's-
feel you. I
there's
feel
a
you.
scripture that says, whatever you bind on earth, it should be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
Yeah.
That's a scripture. So what is that saying? Whatever I want to manifest in heaven, it's going to be manifested on earth. Whatever I say I don't want to experience or bind or won't come my way by way of harm, hurt, danger, such and so forth. Those are our prayers, and I want to talk about prayer too in a minute. But that is this is what I say, we have been programmed to say these things but not really live it. And now we are learning how to manifest the peace, the things we think we had to attain that's way over there. We gotta die after a while and by. Some of that shit is bruh.
Hocus pocus. That's the real hocus pocus.
Really?
That's the real hocus
Which one
pocus.
is it?
That's the real
After a
hocus
while and by,
Yeah.
or I can have it right now.
That's
Or
the
greater
real-
work shall we do right now.
Right. That's
You
the
know what
real
I'm saying?
hocus pocus.
Let's bring it back. And then about our prayers, talking about prayers to me, personally, I say that when we used to get on our knees as a child, and I think everybody can attest, give me please, 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 please.
I know what you
Give
about
me
to say.
please, please.
I know what you about
Give
to
me
say.
and watch, please. And I'm asking, and I'm asking, and I'm asking. And please, please, please ask. And please do this, please. And if it be your will,
Amen.
please.
Amen. Pretty much. That's how it is, bro.
However, I personally have a different perspective. The divine wants us to, like we was talking about earlier, speak those things. This is in the Bible, people.
Yes, it's in the
Speak
Bible.
those things that are not as though they were. And so when we're saying that we want health, I have health. I am beautiful. I am abundant. I have abundance in
Affirmations.
all forms.
So speaking of that as they
Affirmations.
work.
Speak in the present tense.
Yeah.
This is why all of our prayers maybe, possibly, haven't come to the forefront of our front door. And that's why we have to be aware of what we're saying, because this is energy, power, frequency going out. And if you're starting to ask, it's giving you the notion that you have lack. You don't have it.
Like you said before, you got to be careful with words you use.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
It's
Oh,
important.
do I deserve it?
Because words have power.
Because words have power.
Also-
and when I'm asking, when I'm saying, I'm sorry not to cut you off, sweetheart.
No.
When I'm affirming, I already got it. You know why? Because I'm royalty. And that's when you got to start having that self-love to know that I deserve what I'm asking for. I'm not out here. We're burning the midnight hour. Me and my husband's in an apartment in our Airbnb till 3 o'clock in the morning. This is the grit. It's called feed for service. It's called energy for inspiration. I'm putting forth the energy for the inspiration that I have.
Yeah.
It's a balance. That's what the law of attraction lends to. Go ahead, sweetheart.
No. You tapped on it. It's for me.
I feel my help coming.
When you when you tap into this superpower, and we all have it, man. And I try to install that in our daughter, like you special. And I don't just tell her that because she's my daughter. Like, she's super special because you're my daughter. Because I'm special. You get what I'm saying? It's just like
Right.
it's just
That's
like
right.
I can see Kanye why his mom said what she said, because she was a teacher. And I'm a teacher. It's just like when you get taught and you get these, these teachers around you, these leaders around you, take certain things, you be like, bro, I remember when Miss Johnson told me this, or I remember when Coach such and such told me this. You be like, bro, I'm a superhuman. You get what I'm saying? You just think, you be like, you 21 and you think of this.
anything.
And you be like, bro,
Yeah.
I can do anything. So
I
like,
can do anything. Sorry.
yeah, like for me, when you realize that awakening, you like, now I just got to start putting in the work.
That's it.
You get what I'm saying? Like, because faith with no works is nothing.
Come on, preacher.
You get what I'm saying? Like, like that's in the Bible.
Faith
And like I
without
was saying
works is
earlier, like
dead.
all the I could make up a religion.
You could.
I did that in grad school. My religion was sports. I defended it and everything. Like, hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make shrines. I'm gonna believe in relics. I'm gonna make this. This is my religion. And it was like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. That's what's up. You pass. That was that easy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
You just have to defend it.
you get, yeah. So I'm just
all.
like, what if a smart ass motherfucker was like, hey, I'm gonna write this book called the Bible of my experience. These are his experience. These are all their allegories and stories. We didn't experience none of this. We experienced something like this, but nothing that they experienced. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, their spiritual journey is not our spiritual journey. That's why, like, spiritual journey and religion it's a muddy path, because it's just like, I know some Christians that do tarot.
Yeah.
And wear crystals.
Yes. Absolutely.
But is that voodoo? Like that, you become
Damn,
you like
damn.
you like
Let's
you like.
let's touch on voodoo. Let's go.
I ain't gonna lie to
She
you.
had
Like
a thought that I do
y'all
want to
see-
get out.
Oh, let's go.
She
y'all
had
see me.
a last thought that
Y'all
I-
see me like I won't say iced out, but I'm crystal out. This I love this. Like I love this. You know, like this is my style. Like my ancestors, like I'm a creative, so like I'm doing research on like why do they? That's beauty to them. Wearing rocks. Oh, those are not rocks. These are gems. Oh, these are very precious gems. Frankincense. What is a frankincense? Jesus had frankincense
And myrrh.
and myrrh. Wait. The wise man, not knowing frankincense and myrrh was that was more. That
It
weighed more
costs
than gold.
More than gold, yes.
That's in the Bible. But at the same time, like we're looking at like, ooh, that's spooky. Ooh, he wearing these crystals. Oh, she got these piercings. No, this is aesthetically pleasing to me, which I found valuable in a spiritual way.
I think it's important what you said too about the Bible, like being this is one person's story or one person's journey. Like that's truly all religion is like, not to say it's like not real. I think it's validly, like whatever your beliefs are in your religion. I think I'm not taking away from that,
Right,
but
right.
it really was one person's essentially, or
Journey.
whatever journey, and they put that into a format for other people to relate to base their lives off of. And that's really what religion is. And I think that's like to go back to like the whole idea of like what is spirituality. It is so different for everyone, but it is so the same at the same time. It's like we're experiencing similar things, similar lessons, and we all have the same tools, right? But different. We got the same tools, but we're making different art.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
I like that.
And like
Woo, wait a minute. Run it back.
Sketch
Run it
it
back,
out.
sis. What, say that.
we got the same tools, but
That's
we're
a
all
nugget.
making different art, making a different
I like
sculpture.
that.
Let's say that.
Ooh, that's a magician right there. Kind of card.
But really, that's what it is, and
Yeah.
it's once, especially I think respecting other people's, art, so to speak, or
Yes.
whatever, is huge too. Because, and this you mentioned something about this, and I wanted to talk about it, but it's kind of off topic. But like, when they say like you no one will love you until you love yourself. I hate that expression because I feel like that's something that is one of those things where like you're using the wrong verbiage.
Yeah.
Because people will love you.
Yeah.
I love people
You
that
just have
don't
to
love
discover
themselves.
how to love yourself.
But the idea is if you don't really love yourself, you are not going to be surrounding yourself with people who love you for who you are, because you don't know who you are.
That's right.
So there are plenty of people who will love you, but they're not loving, like either you don't understand you and they understand you, or like they're not the people that you want around you, because it's the idea, like whatever you're giving them isn't really who you are because you don't even know who you are.
And sometimes they're teaching you.
Mm-hmm.
They're teaching you how to love, because some people have a distorted view of not just love but anything. They have a distorted view of what they think this is supposed to be like. Just like when you get in a relationship and you've been through tumultuous relationship after tumultuous relationship, then when you get a good man or woman or whatever, and
You self-sabotage, or you-
self-sabotage because you don't understand, like, this is really, authentic love. I don't need anything from you. I love you unconditionally. And sometimes that's foreign to people, and sometimes that's a segue for that person to realize, wow, this is what love feels like, and it feels good, and I don't have to be scared. I might have been scared before because it's unfamiliar,
Right.
but now I don't have to be scared, and I can start to open up, and now I discover my true love for myself. I just had deja vu, y'all.
That's
Deja
good.
vu.
That's a good sign.
That is good.
That's a really
That
good
shit just
omen.
made my heart drop.
That is good.
This is so off topic, but have you guys read The Alchemist?
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. I
read
think
it?
all of us should read.
Have you
that
read
book.
it? I have it in my car. If you want it, you can take it. You can read
I know
it.
Yes,
I
yes.
have
You need a
it.
copy,
It's
bro.
awesome.
You gotta read it.
I
Yeah.
just had deja vu though. I just want to stop in this moment. Thank you, spirit guide, angels, ancestors. Divine. I gotta stop, because when our soul drifts, it comes back and let us know we're at the right place at the right time.
There we go.
And I just had it. I was looking at this greenery. You was looking at me, my love. I looked at the camera. This whole scene. Okay, cool. Keep going.
Wow.
But it's a good
There we go.
omen, and in that
Yeah,
book
no,
they
it
talk
is.
about good omens, and that's why I
Yeah.
said that. So you gotta
Yeah.
read that book.
But
Yeah,
no,
it's
what
awesome.
you need to read it. That so back.
And circle back so many
To
times.
point to you, I would give you that book, bro.
Yeah.
I
really
have
good
to,
book.
man. I
You
have
know,
to.
like,
I have it. I'm telling you.
It's
Yeah.
a good audio book.
Like,
I was
it's
listening
just
to it on
a-
the audio because that's on the go.
Yeah,
but
it's just a
it's
good.
really good.
It's a good self-help book, bro. Like, you don't realize like some of the stories in there.
Yeah.
You
The
be
5
like,
Agreements is another good one.
I have
bro,
that
I
as well.
went.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about like I
It's
went
so
through
many,
that, bro.
man.
Like that's how I got on my spiritual journey. I just started reading books
Reading books.
Yeah.
and questioning myself. I
How,
started
how
questioning
often
myself.
do you read? Would you say?
So I'm a horrible reader.
But
I
you're a
love
good
to listen.
listener.
Well, you
Yeah,
would do like an
do-
audio
yeah,
book.
do audio books.
Yeah, I
that's
would
what
have to
works
do
for me.
audio.
Do audio
That works
books.
good
I'm
for
a
me,
horrible
too.
reader. I didn't used to be a horrible reader.
Mhm.
Like, but then like I got to a point where it's just like, yeah.
Why should I do this?
Like, listen, everything that I learned is like either visual. I'm not a reader.
No, I feel
I'm
you.
a
I'm the
visual
same
or
way.
hands-on
And that
learner.
But
goes
you know
in-
that about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes in with that whole like
Yeah.
everybody's different. Everybody is like
for sure.
because
Demonstrative.
you, yeah.
I learned how to like build cars and fix cars on YouTube. I learned how to
YouTube
do
University.
everything I'm
Bro,
doing right now.
Send us a check.
Oh,
Everything
no.
I do right now, some audio or something that I watch.
Yeah.
Because I can't
It's a
read a
video.
book.
can't
But
do it.
I
I
bought a
am
photography book.
expressing so
And
much
I-
gratitude
it's
to all
right
the people
here.
that posted their videos on YouTube
Yeah.
for me to learn from because
No, I feel you,
Thank
bro.
you.
and you know what's crazy because think about I thought about this one day like think about all the reviews you've ever read about a restaurant or you know you watch a YouTube tutorial or whatever. Have you ever thought about posting a YouTube tutorial?
No.
But somebody did and they were probably like, yeah, but who would watch me?
Everybody.
I
Right,
watch
I'm the
it.
one that.
The simplest thing. You might think you making a drink, right?
Right.
You make
How do
your
you
little
put
drink
that
videos.
ice in
No,
that
seriously. I don't know shit about making drinks.
You see how I make
Yeah.
those videos, right?
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like in that that's probably doing the most for somebody else.
It is.
They are probably watching that like,
Right.
wow.
I know
learning
I
so
watch
much.
I learn a lot. In nursing
Bro, she
school,
didn't. Yeah.
I'm not saying nursing school helped me look at something. Then when I go to read it, I can see it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what you're saying because that's just the uniqueness of us. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Even in that, in our learning, when we teaching people like education, we're like, how do you best learn? Demonstration, audio, video, repeat, learn, repeat, whatever,
Yeah.
demonstrate, whatever the case may be. What's that?
He mixing up something.
He's a
little-
mixologist over here.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
I'm
you
getting
said.
sponsored, so I'm a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of bourbon.
Okay. Yeah, we need
Yeah,
sponsors,
right. We're not
baby.
getting sponsored
That's why I got
yet.
it all taped
We
up.
need,
I got
we need
you.
sponsors,
Not
baby.
yet.
We
Not
need sponsors.
yet.
But no, like manifest that shit, bro.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna happen.
I manifest myself in grad school.
Yeah,
Dude,
you
I
did.
I
can't
ain't gonna
find a
even
bottle
lie
of
to
Douce
you.
anywhere. Douce, if you hear this,
Hey, Douce.
send me a
Shout
bottle.
out.
Send me a case.
Hey, we show put you on there good 15 seconds. You
Yeah.
know, we
Look,
good
you'll
to you
see the
15
ad come
seconds.
up on
We can't do
YouTube.
30. We'll do 15 right
That's
quick.
all right.
You know, then we'll get to 30. But no, like manifest that shit, bro. Like I tell my daughter that every time I speak to her and she tells me something she want to do. I'm like, how you gonna do it? I don't know. I guess. All
Why
right.
are you doing it?
Right, you know what I'm
Why are
saying?
you doing it?
You know, she'll give me the why because I think she's used to me saying or asking her why.
She used to ask me why too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like my daughter's very like inquisitive and like she asks us why. She keep us on our toes.
She
Like,
does.
why are you doing this? She asked me one day in the studio. She's like, why are you painting like this?
I like that. Though.
I'm
You
thinking
have
like,
moments with your daughter where you learn something and she doesn't even realize she's teaching you
Yeah.
something.
yeah,
Yes, they
and that's the
teach us a
thing.
lot.
I'm
I
just
think
like,
that is such a beautiful thing when, especially, I mean, like I said, I don't have kids, but when I learn something from someone that I don't want to say I view as like lower than me or less than me, but you know,
Yeah.
you think a child,
Yeah,
they're,
yeah.
in a sense, you're above them, and you learn something from them. It's like it's a very humbling moment.
oh yes,
like,
it is. I was just about to say
And
that.
I
Like,
think-
Alpha babes.
Yes, yes.
it dumbs you down or it makes you realize like, oh they looking at you.
Yeah,
'Cause
Like,
she
you're,
look-
you're
she-
raising them, but
Yeah.
they're still teaching you. Like,
yeah, because she was like, why are you using gold like that or why are you putting gold like that? I was just like, I never thought about it, but I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all the
Aesthetically-
neat reasons
I was
you
like,
eat
it's
sometimes.
aesthetically pleasing to me.
Yeah.
She was
Right.
like, I like it too. I was
Yeah.
like, bro, like,
I'm gonna tell you a situation with my daughter. So, like she has her own room, and of course, right? But she has her own room, right? And I was thinking, like, all right, I'm gonna let her learn because I'm tired of closing her door for her because we have this space heater I put in her room. So there's a space heater in her room, and I had a thermostat that I put in her room when she was a baby because I wanted to make sure the temperature was at the right temperature for her as a baby. And I just never took it down, just left it up. So it got to the point where she was like, Daddy, why is it so cold in here? And I was like, well, because you got your door open and the space heater, all the heat's just leaving. And she was like, okay. She says it says 60. It's 60 degrees. Oh. I said, yeah. I was like, so, pretty much my whole thought was like, she's a very challenging child. She'll challenge me on everything just because that's just how she is, and that's how I am. I challenge everybody on everything. So I feel like she got it from me. But she closed her door. I said, you gotta close your door. Let so that the way the heat goes on. She yells out her door, "Daddy, it's 66." You know what I mean? Like just verifying it. And it's like a moment that I built some trust with her. That like, if I'm telling you something,
that's
like
the
believe
result.
it. Yeah. You see the result. That's a cool thing. That you know what I'm saying. I'm sure you experienced that with your dogs. Your dog as well. Man. Every day, my dogs have to play. every day something new is coming up. Kids at school that you have to let her know like, hey, why do you even care what they think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you even care what they think?
And that's about building that tribe too, bro. Like that's how cults are built too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've looked at cults and looked at like, why do people do it? Mm-hmm. And like it interests me because like, I find myself as a good leader. You know what I'm saying? Like playing sports and being active in school and being in a fraternity. I'm like, I can lead a group of people. And then you get on job sites, you be like, bro, hold on, time out. Is it that simple to lead people? You get what I'm saying? Because it's just like you're leading people for their livelihood. This is a job that they need to work. So they're going to do what you tell them. Mm-hmm. And like you said, with your daughter, you're just like, I told her like that I built that trust between me and her. Like, hey, do this will work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just like religion.
Experience, yeah.
If I tell you, hey, if you pray 7 days out the week, you're going to get a reward. You tithe 10%, you're going to get a reward. You give, like, whatever I tell you to do in this religion, you be like, oh, that worked for that person? Yeah. That kind of worked for that person. That worked for that person, but he done been in jail.
The uncommon denominator is intention.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, like the intention of everything. He's like, bro, that didn't work for everybody. Yeah. I'm on my own spiritual journey. Whatever works for me. And then you start to look at it, he's like, that cult and what they did in that cult is like, that worked for them. Yeah. Wow. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, when you install that in a child, like, hey, you do this, you do right by people. You install love. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the religion we live by. It's like love. That's I'm going to love you. If you wrong, I'm going to tell you wrong, but I'm going to still love you and let you know, like, hey, that was fucked up. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you it's fucked up, so you need to fix it. Yeah.
That goes back to faith, the evidence.
Yeah.
We live by our evidence. If something is working for us, we replicate it and we keep doing it. Yep. So even like you were saying about the cult, if someone, I ain't gonna even bring it on the cult. I'm gonna just say the belief. I'm gonna just say the belief. I'm gonna say the belief that something works. The proof of you keep doing it is the evidence it gives you. Mm-hmm. The feedback it gives you. That's why our beliefs are so important to us as individuals. Because I might do something, a practice totally different. This is working for me, and I've learned in this phase. This is a tool. It ain't my end all be all. I ain't gonna make no major life decisions. But I'm believing that it's a tool, a conduit, that if it tells me something and I navigate this way and the evidence happens to be the result that I was looking for, then shit, I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah. Right? And the same thing for you. So I like what you said about why do people get sucked into, like, organizations or whatever. And then, then you navigate and be like, okay, that doesn't work for me anymore. Yeah. And then you start to search for something else that works.
I had these two random women give me a tarot reading in a hookah bar.
Yeah.
Like, I just walked up to them because, like, when you go to a hookah bar, it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
And I just walked up to them and I was like, man, you two look interesting. Like, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were by themselves. And like, me personally, I'm just a gift of gab, especially when I'm a little bit inebriated. So, like, I went over and just talked to them and they were like, yeah. And they started talking and then they were super intelligent. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good conversation. I pulled up a chair. You know what I'm saying? I was like, let's have a conversation. They whipped out some tarot cards. I was like, read me. So then it came to the point where they were like, they hit me hard. It was like after the tarot card, they didn't want to talk to me no more. I was like, really? What did I do wrong? But their whole reading was that I was afraid of commitment, and I don't want to be in a relationship, or I don't want to be committed to anybody. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking, like, Yeah, in a sense, but at the same time, it's not that I don't want to be committed. So I just don't want to be committed to the wrong person.
Right.
So like at the same time, even though they were giving me some sort of spiritual thing that was coming from them, I still had the self-recognition, the self-analysis.
You're not relinquishing your power.
And I was like, yes. I respect the fact that you were able to read me that way because it is partially true, but the whole truth.
I think that goes back to that perspective too. Like because they can get energy off of you, but they don't know you have your own self-awareness, you know? Right. And so like they might be like, "Oh, you're afraid of commitment." And you're like, "Yeah, but with the wrong person." Yeah. So it's not wrong, but it's yeah. Exactly.
It lets you it's a tool. It's an awareness to help you. Like my wife, she'll tell you right now. When I ask for a reading from her, she's like,
he doesn't like for me to read him.
"Oh, let me find my cards. Let me
go hard.
She don't
read them.
So when you ask, if you don't
or
like
not
it,
even if I ask, the way I ask, I should say, because we ask for things different. The way I ask, I just sit down at her desk like and mess with the cards, and I be like, because I can read tarot myself, but I don't feel like that's my gift as far as like reading or using that tool.
Spirituality, self-understanding.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can read them. I know what they say because I'm in tune with what's around me or what's going on. But at the same time, that's not the tool that I choose. But if I sit down at her desk and I start messing with the card, and I be like, oh, the ones.
I don't even need the cards all the time.
The ones mean this. So yeah, the water, the cups. Yeah, okay. You want to read and you want me to read. I'm like,
see, the cards for me, they help preserve my energy. Because meeting someone, you can get an aura off of them, a vibe, an interaction, a mannerism, whatever. But for me, when I'm reading for people that I don't know, it helps me be unbiased because I know the traditional meaning of the card, but it plays a story, so to speak, because it's an archetype. The numbers mean something. The illustrations mean something. The colors mean something. So it's like you're decoding in a sense. But I'm just telling people I'm not psychic. I'm using my intuition based off of what I'm feeling in the moment. But you decode this message.
Right. It's
not up to me to decode this.
Exactly. It's a very like, I don't want to say.
Say it.
No, like.
Say it.
Like it's.
Say it. Let me stop.
It's. I don't want to say what's the word, like not like template, but it's
in a sense it can be
like a guideline,
like a guideline. Yeah, a guideline. Exactly.
Like if I tell you like, hey, I see that you and such and such having problems, watch out for them. You're like,
and you might not even know all.
I don't know that.
That might just be like y'all are about to, disagree on one thing, or that might be like it's the end of your like it doesn't mean necessarily. It's your interpretation based off of this like energy and feeling that,
but you have to decode it for your, that's why I always give a disclaimer. This may not resonate with everyone. And that's a general reading.
That's important.
Right. But if I'm tapping into you, sometimes spirit will allow me to look a little bit deeper than the superficial. But at the end of the day, your power is your power. You have the right to say, no, that ain't it. Or that sounds about right. Okay. Yep.
And it's important to know too, like you can't force a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like like people joke about like, oh, I got the ick, but like it's like that. Whether it's a relationship or a friend. When you're just like, okay, I just can't. No, it's the same thing as like, like if you can't force like if you're giving a reading. Like a lot of times, like I said, TikTok is huge with like all that.
Yeah.
I'll see one and I'm like. If I feel like it resonates, it resonates. But I'm not going to force it. If someone's on my timeline talking about, this relationship isn't going where you thought it was going to go, I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's this relation. Like, I'm not forcing it. I don't feel it, I don't feel it.
And I look at other tarot readers, too. Because I feel like every doctor needs a doctor.
Facts.
Well, and that's just like anything.
Every barber needs a barber.
Yes. Right. And people are in things for the wrong reasons. And that's in everything. Yeah. So it's the same with that too. And
that's what I was saying. Like, that's not my tool. Like, I don't use that tool.
And he's not forcing it to be his.
Yeah. Exactly. Because you could.
I picked up the cards. I turned them over. I even told my wife, like, hey, buy me a deck of cards. And she was like, and I'm not even impressed about it. Because I'm like, I don't really use it. Because I'm just like, that ain't my tool to use, but at the same time, like, I understand it. I know what it's saying if I do need to interpret.
Anybody can read if you want to.
You can understand the meanings of the cards, but to feel. I think that's important too. You brought up people have auras and you can feel energy in the room, which is also like why the incense is the way that it is.
That's another thing, bro.
That's seriously. And a lot of people, when I talk to them, I don't want to say I try to force it on people because I'm not forcing it. But any opportunity I have to talk about like spirituality or anything of the sort, if it comes up, I'm like, okay, like let me get into this. But like something I try to like tell people that's huge, people that are kind of like hesitant on believing, I don't want to say believing, but you know, like really they're like just getting in touch with their spirituality, or like they want to or whatever, is like if you can walk into a room and feel the energy in the room, or even just with a person, you ever like have a friend or anyone that you're talking to and you feel like there's some type of hostility or some type of like edginess between the two of you. Yes, like that feeling literally solidifies your like belief in that. Like if you can feel an aura or you can feel an energy in a room, that's all exactly. That's all the like proof you need.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Trusting ourselves.
It's crazy because men we don't know how to balance that feminine energy, which is that intuition of like man, it's crazy.
Yo, I'm serious.
It's
like
crazy.
Like
Expound, please.
100%. I will walk into a room and know it's bad energy, and I'll still try to flip it.
That's not your assignment.
Bro, I'll be so drained.
Yeah.
There you go. You be drained, bro.
I come home and I don't want to talk to nobody. I
hear you, bro.
Nothing.
I've tried.
But it's just because it's I don't know.
It's just you.
That goes back to that protecting your peace.
Yeah.
That is that protecting your peace.
Bro, it's full circle.
You can't be trying to flip the energy all the time.
But you gotta
because it takes away from you.
But you gotta understand. You know what I mean? There's people out there that do major things for other people and they make things happen.
They do.
They expel a lot of energy doing it. But even though it's protect your energy, protect your peace, who cares? Like at the end of the day, I know I made an impact. May I feel drained at the end of the day? I can recharge.
But as long as you know you can recharge, that's the thing.
I'll recharge.
And that's the thing. You know what? That's back to my wife.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like right now, I'm not gonna even lie to you. Like right now, bro, we in a fight. Like we in a fight, bro. Like we in a fight. Like we tussling it out. And I know like I got her by my side in this fight. And it's just like when she look at me, she's like, "Hey, nigga, I need some time. I need some time to myself." Yeah. I gotta respect that because I already know like, hey, she need 2 or 3 days to go to Cincinnati or go to Chicago or whatever. Take a trip. That's her replenishing herself because I already know, bro. We in this fight of like
I wouldn't call it a fight, babe.
It's not a fight. What I mean by fight, I'm saying
tension.
Like
it
ain't even tension between us. It's just like we're trying to get stuff done. Like in our life, like we're moving, we're trying to set up different businesses. We're doing this, we're doing that. And it's just like, bro, this is a fight to get through this, and
it's challenging.
You know, with someone by your side that's like they understanding. And you look at them, they just like, hey, I'm mentally drained.
Yeah.
Hey, I need a break.
That's huge too, is having someone that can understand that. And not even that, but like there are people like me, like I go home and I'm with my dogs and I'm like, nobody is disrupting this. Yep. Like this is so comforting to know like I have that, you know? And whenever I feel like I can allow someone into that, I know that's a huge thing because I'm so comfortable, not in the negative way, because you know there is a way they say like growth is uncomfortable, but the only thing growth is painful, but the only thing more painful than growth is staying the same. You know what I'm saying? Exactly so I'm not comfortable in the negative sense. It's just like I'm just so at peace, and to allow somebody into that would take a lot.
It's a big commitment.
It's an adjustment.
So to have somebody that you know that is there for you and that can understand, like, listen, you know, I am this, or I'm feeling drained, I need this, or I don't need this, or you know, whatever. Like I think that's so huge, and not even in a relationship sense either, just other ways. Like I said, like me and my mom, like it's so good to have people around you that you can express those things to, and that have an understanding of it. Like it's very important. That's
how I think this happened right here. I know that's how this happened. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like he'll come at work. He'll be like, That's his move. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know that's not him. So if I see him slouched down, grumpy, not even grumpy, just like
Yeah, I would see him
just
and be
like
"What's up
slow
with you
motion,
today?"
like
what?
good. I'm just like, bro, what's good? He be like, and I already know, like, let me exert some energy to him because I already know, like, whatever's going on with him, I need to mask that and help him. Be a reflection.
You holding space.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hold that for him and be like, all right, cool. And I can dissolve that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like some days I'm just like, he just want to talk.
That's it. Everybody.
And that's the thing. Like when I met you, you just like, so what's up with these crystals and stuff? I'm like, bro, like, hey, you see me?
Yeah.
And she was just like, so what you believe in? What's this? What's that? And I was like, okay, cool. And like you said, when you met the females at the bar, like that read your tarot, I'm like, you already know when you connect with somebody, like, bro, this about to be crazy. Let me see what let me see what your thought process is. Let me see what journey you're on, because for all of us, when we met, especially, you know, me and Dex and Kels, it's like, hey, bro, what you believe in, what's not, what's the real? Like it was
even
straight,
hard to define.
Yeah, it was just straight to the point. Like, hey, man, you cool? What's up with you? Are you really this cool? And it's just like, yeah, man. Like,
are you really
like you know, you're thinking that in your head. You're thinking that in your head. Just like,
I'm gonna tell you. So I walk up to Kels first time ever. Like everybody's talking about her because of her red hair.
Yes.
Like, obviously she stands out in the crowd.
Yeah.
And I see we just start talking about angel numbers.
Oh,
I was like, yo, what's the 222 stand for? And he was just like, what does that mean to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have 222 right here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your
Yeah,
synchronicity.
so I just thought it was dope because like, and then we start talking, right? And then I started telling her about my angel numbers because my angel numbers are different.
757
Yeah,
is
she
what
remembers.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, she remembers.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I still see it every day.
He was like,
hate
I
it.
see this everywhere. Like I wake up. He's like, I look at the time. It's 7:57. He's like, he says one thing like.
I was playing video games and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like the damage was 757.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was because I don't know how that works. I don't play games. But he
Yeah.
was like, everywhere. I'm like, dude, like it's a sign. Like
And
there's a
something
reason.
changed.
Yep.
Something changed.
Yeah, because then I told you that's what it was. Like,
Yeah.
it was
I think I told
it
him
was
the
a big
same
shift.
thing.
I'm like, yeah, there's a big shift happening for you.
Yeah.
Like,
With
Yeah.
fives
and you
are,
were like,
changes.
bro, like
And that's
I
what I'm
remember
saying.
you
Like
came
this
in the next day.
connection is, it happened, and it's so like it's needed. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it was needed for every aspect in our life. You know what I'm saying? Like it probably helped you out in some way. Like even with my wife, not even me and you, but also when she met Dexter, it was just like it was a pivotal moment, especially for us. It was just like, okay, I get it.
Gained another brother.
Okay, cool. All right. That's Dexter. You know what I'm saying? And like now that she met you, it's like, oh, okay. All right, yeah, we've been here before. You get what I'm saying? Like we've been like this. That's how I feel. So
And
I'm here now.
You can't get rid of me.
listen, like
You can't get rid
even
of
when I approach people at work or when I approach people in general, like when I approach females in general, I'm afraid that they're gonna think I'm a sexual predator because I'm African American. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like at the end of the
Stigma.
day, like it's a negative
Yeah.
stigma, and half of the time my intentions are pure.
Of course. Yeah.
Obviously, like, you know,
Right.
I'm human. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I have some intentions. So I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know,
yeah.
for the most part, like I respect people in those intentions. Like my intentions are never negative.
Right.
Obviously, they're, you know, maybe self-motivated, but at the same time, it's like when I talk to people, like I generally want to get a clear understanding of that person and
Right.
figure out if there's anything I can add value to that.
And I
You know
can
what I'm saying?
genuinely tell that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I will be in a room with people and I would sit there and talk to somebody who just needs to vent
Yeah.
for no reason.
And that's a gift.
Yeah.
To be able to take that on.
For no reason. I'll sit there and
and
talk
be
to them.
able
They'd be
to
like, yo, you
rejuvenate
missing
yourself
you missing the
afterwards.
spades game on the left corner. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know I love spades, you know what I'm saying? But honestly,
do?
this person right now, they need
You
me.
do?
Anyway,
no
we'll
shit.
figure it out.
Hold on, time out.
No, because I've
I ran
had
that table.
Right.
I ran that table.
Listen, we ran the tape. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
I played with
Let's hey, we're gonna talk
Anyway.
spades and spirituality.
It's
Oh.
spirituality. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's just something I do, and it's
Yeah.
not necessarily a negative thing in my opinion. I feel like that's that energy I was
That's
telling you
you.
that I absorb.
Yep.
And sometimes it sometimes people really can drain it out of you.
Oh yeah.
Because that energy is being transferred to you. That weighs on you.
They need it. How you feel about soul ties and transfers and sexuality?
Oh man,
Let's
that's
talk about that. We need to.
We can. How
Man,
how deep you want to dive? Listen, how deep you want to dive in that? Because I feel like me and my wife, like I said earlier, my wife's just like, yeah, that's like your twin flame or whatever. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So if people don't understand,
soulmate with the same sex. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like people don't understand soulmates, soul ties, twin flames. Like people don't understand that. Like we're very
People are like, oh, we're in love, we're soulmates. Like,
yeah,
no,
that's not what that is.
That's not what it is.
So like,
break it down.
I think I
Let's
think
give your
you
opinion.
can kind of interpret things differently. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I had a really close relationship with my great grandma, and to me, like that was my soulmate. If Honey is not my soulmate, Honey's my dog. If Honey is not my soulmate, then it was for sure my grandma. But I low key think that like Honey is like my grandma reincarnated. Like maybe not necessarily, but me and my grandma, I truly feel like she was the only person, and this was before I was ever spiritual, before I was ever like anything. I don't want to say I was like a negative person, but I was just very much like anti-religion, anti any type of, very like realistic kind of person. But anytime I was around her, I just felt better. Like with anything, I felt like no matter what it was. And my grandma, okay, so she was born in 1929. Okay, she was like 90, I think, when she died. Yeah. So she's been through it. Like she lived a whole life, And the older you get, like you can't sit and have a conversation like we're having with older. I mean, you can, some people, but at a certain point, like I couldn't sit and have conversations with her and expect like her to really be giving me lots of advice, or like to truly understand what I'm saying and everything. So like there would be times I'd be venting to her about some shit she probably did not care about, did not even know what to say to me. Like it was about a relationship or about work or about whatever. But she didn't have to say anything. It was like me talking. Yes. It was me talking to her and me being able to just get that out and feeling safe in doing so with her. Like that type of bond. And it kind of goes back to where I said where like the deeper into my spirituality, I feel like the less I can explain it. I can't really explain why I feel like we were soulmates, but I know that we were. Yeah. And
the
like
evidence.
Yes, and I've never had that connection with anybody else, and I don't think I ever will, except for like Honey, like I said. But we don't be having conversations. It's just one sided. I just talk to her.
What you
like?
I think
that in a certain kind of way, in a different way.
Yeah, spirituality can't be explained. It gotta be felt.
Yeah, experience, bro.
You can relate.
Experience. It has to be experience.
The deeper you get into it, the harder it is to put in. And words, even though it's powerful, it's the lowest vibration compared to feeling. Yeah, because like feeling is a different vibration of itself. Words, when we communicate, it's the lowest vibration that we can, in comparison, in hierarchy to other things.
So I love the way you brought words into it, because like modern day words.
Yes.
Maybe not modern day words,
right?
But like ancient, like.
Yeah.
Ancient, like,
come on,
you know what I mean? Ancient,
pull it out.
Ancient languages.
Yes, indeed.
They spoke with spiritual tones.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like tones that really resonated. And things that you could really feel.
Yeah.
So like the English, like even when you speak in Spanish, you could tell when somebody's speaking Spanish to you. It's a whole vibe.
It's a little bit more.
It's a whole vibe,
bro. It's been studied.
Italian, any other language is a vibe.
And to sort of like tie it back into like how you're talking about soul ties, that's why people find certain ethnicities or certain languages or certain just different things attractive, or especially like in a sexual sense attractive, because you feel it. Like if someone is speaking to you in a foreign language, you feel it.
Bro, I'm telling you, English is the most confused language. Is one. It's been studies.
222.
Yeah.
What's
right?
222?
Red. red. So like it's been seen that like English is that language, but at the same time, like when you speak a different language, you take on a whole nother personality.
Yeah, you're right.
like bonjour.
Bonjour.
Like when I
That
say,
shit.
like when
You
you
said
say
that.
that, you like you
You looking at them like,
Boom,
you,
you be like-
you
Like,
can get it right
you didn't just say it,
now.
you said
yes,
it. Like,
and that's what I'm
said
saying.
it.
Like when you speak a different language or you speak,
Mm-hmm.
it takes on its own character, and you live into a whole, like you're a whole nother person. You
Yeah.
ask me, because when we're doing like spiritual work, as far as like when I do like my meditation, or if I'm doing like my spiritual practice, I feel a sense. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like when I say certain words, I'm like, oh. And like if you ever been in church and caught the Holy Ghost, as they say, that shit's real.
Mm-hmm. It very much is.
I'm not gonna lie. That
It
was one
is.
thing in Christianity. When I saw that, I was like, bro, that right? That what they doing? That's
right
real.
It is real.
They ain't
That
playing.
right there.
They ain't playing, but that's real.
It
Because
is real.
I've caught the Holy Ghost,
Yeah,
and then
and me too.
I've also been in a state of the same matter before, and when I meditate, so it's like, oh, that's real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, just experiencing that, Brad, you be like, all this stuff around me, it changes your personality. It changes who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And like with spirituality, it changes you. Also, like you say, it's an experience. Then when you were saying like the different languages, like bro, you it's a whole nother. You tap into a whole nother reality.
Bro,
You ask me.
it don't even have to be language. It could be dialect.
Yeah, anything.
Because when I'm in the
Anything.
South, I'm talking about like, what's happening, baby? How you
Right.
doing? I'm talking about, hold up. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like that whole Houston swag.
Yeah.
Is it like
Even
me
Louisiana.
coming from Houston?
Yeah.
That Louisiana swag
Yeah.
brings you
Yeah.
straight up to
Woody.
Creole, shrimp and grits.
Right.
You know what
My
I'm talking about?
grandma's neighbor, she's from there. She's like, no, it's not Louisiana, it's Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. She used to
Right.
correct me.
Tell
I'm like,
them.
all right,
Oh,
listen.
facts. It literally brings you there.
Yep.
Like just by the language.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's,
So circle back. Let's circle back.
Let's do it.
Come on. We gotta stay on
Okay.
topic. Soul ties.
Yes, thank you.
Soul ties, yes, are real. Like us being here right now, we're transferring energy. You know what I'm saying? So even with physical touch, just touching someone, like if I'm holding your hand, if I'm hugging you, you know, being in the same room, being in the same room with someone, and that's like I said, like walking into a room, you could feel an aura,
Yeah.
right? Now imagine that on a whole other level of closeness, you know, like when you are intimate with somebody and you that is such an energy transfer, and it is one that you cannot.
it's hard to break.
Oh,
It's hard to break.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to
it
break.
is.
And me and Dex we can talk on this. I'm not speaking for you. I just want you to elaborate on what I'm about to say.
What's that, brother?
The soul tie between a woman and a man, especially if you have a child, it's still like some type of soul tie there because that child was created within, which is now. So you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So like that right there is hard to break. And like I said, I'm not speaking for you, but I know for me, I don't even feel like I have broke it in a sense, because
You mean
with my daughter mom, because you
yeah.
can't.
My shit unshackled and unchained.
Yeah, like you.
because you have a child together. So
Yeah,
you're
like
always
you
gonna
can't,
see
like
it.
like
Yeah.
like you
Not in
can't
an intimate
because
sense,
like
but definitely.
yeah, because like
Commonality.
I just
Yeah.
want I want my daughter to mirror her mom, but at the same time I want her to mirror my wife. So I can't I can't take that away. You get what I'm saying? Like if I try to be like, whatever, no, I want her to be like like I really can't, because I still have that soul tie with her mom in a sense. But I feel you, that's like, yeah, I'm not intimate, I'm not attracted to her mom. Like the only attraction that I have with her mom is I want you to be a better woman for your daughter.
Facts.
Like that's
100%.
like if you're sick and dying and out, that's not gonna do anything for us.
Imagine spirituality, like the way that I personally define spirituality is like being absorbent and aware of yourself.
Yeah.
The extent of that is being aware of others. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
a lot of people haven't even got to their the extension. That's an
Yeah.
extent. But you
Oh
got-
no, I didn't even know you
I
heard me. I
appreciate
was
it.
talking to
I
myself.
definitely heard it.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm trying to say is this though, like, you know what I'm saying? So imagine if you have somebody who isn't in tune spirituality with themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can they like realize that for another person.
Yeah.
And
can't.
especially a little person.
Yeah.
It doesn't really
Well-
affect until like, oh man, this is very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Something's wrong at school. Or like this person right here, like they keep crying all the time. Why are they crying? They are super emotionally tied into their environment.
Yeah.
Kids in their nature already born into like a different dimension. They have they're in
Especially
tune with
now.
they're in tune with way more
Right.
than we are.
Yes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
And because they're so brand new to the world.
Yeah.
And they're taking
open.
the world for actually what it is.
Yep. They're open.
And then
book.
what not what we were taught. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
They're
we're
just a sponge.
yeah, they're just a sponge. So like at the end of the day, their sponge is a little bit I don't know, more absorbent.
More porous.
Yeah.
Yes.
More
Yes.
porous.
Yeah.
They have been jaded to the world yet,
Yeah,
bro.
so like they're experiencing things that we can't experience. They're thinking about things that we don't think about, and things we used to think about, but we're so blocked off about. You know what I'm
You
saying?
need to read The Alchemist.
Yeah, you need
I can't
Bro,
wait.
I'm
This is in
surprised you
there.
haven't
This is
read
in there
it.
This is
because
in there?
It
to
is.
give you, I'm gonna give you a little sample.
All
I'm gonna
of
give you a
it's
little
in there.
taste.
Yeah.
So it's a story about a boy, right? And he in the story he talks to different people, and they talk about how as a child, you know, they use personal legend, but it's essentially, you know, your journey, your life's journey, whatever.
Yeah.
So everybody has their own personal legend, okay? And as a child, you pretty much know what your personal legend is, or you're figuring it out or whatever. And then the older you get, based on your environment and whatever, like eventually you give up on your personal legend, whether that's because you quit listening to your heart, you quit, you know, you let others influence you, whatever it is.
Right.
And after a certain point, your heart is only going to tell you, like, you know, do this so much. And then when you stop listening to it, your heart's going to stop talking to you.
Facts.
And you stop following your personal legend, you're just living, you're just surviving at that point. You're not really living. And children are so pure for that reason, because they're not, I mean, they're influenced, but they're not influenced in the way that adults are, to the point where, like, you're influencing me so much to the point where I'm not doing what is true to me.
Yeah.
Right.
What
That's
is
so
what is
good.
my personal legend, you know? I'm letting the world affect what I really am meant to be doing or meant to be.
Bro.
And
yeah.
like, oh,
It's crazy because, like,
that.
I just try to stay childlike, because that's one thing I learned in grad school. They was like, just stay. We had a visiting artist. I forgot her name, man. She was the lady that did the Hannibal face mask. She was a designer, costume designer.
Oh, she
but-
made like the actual.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy that, like, the talk and everything, how they made it. But she was telling us, she's like, everybody get out of the childlike stage. She was like, when y'all in y'all critique, y'all are all like, I'm protecting my word, don't talk. It's like, it's your work is done.
It is yours.
Give it to the world. Like, you're a child. Like, as a child, when you, like, make something, it can be the most hideous thing, but somebody gonna put it on the refrigerator.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that child, like, bro, whatever I do is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So when you put that into being an adult, you're just like, bro, whatever I make is gonna be good for me.
And you know how they talk about, like, you know, if you drink or you smoke or whatever, that's that, or especially drinking, like that liquid confidence, you feel some type of way. That kind of goes back into when you really believe you are not, I don't want to say the best, but you believe you're the shit.
You are.
You're going to start making decisions based on that belief.
That's
and
it.
that is important. Like,
That
when
is.
you know, like
That's the
me
momentum.
waking up every day thinking like, oh, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. I'm going to carry myself like I'm beautiful. And I
Right.
will not be attracting people that don't
Believe that.
don't feel the
Yeah.
same way, and that don't
Exactly.
treat me that same way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's like, and same thing with like art, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you make art and you're like, oh, but I don't like this. No, like, this is my art. I love this. You put it out, and people that love it are going,
Are gonna
Yeah,
attract
you
and
know what
that's
I'm
it.
saying? You're going to
That's the thing
attract that.
about Kanye. Like, everybody, man, like, every
That's so true.
entertainer, every successful person, man, they have believed. And it's just like, why can't I live out my dream? And I've learned so much, like, in my journey so far. And, like, one of the things that really, like, hit me was, like, one day we was in an all black student union, one of our programs, and one of the guys, he was just like, bro, like, I'm a black male, but I can't live out my dream. But a white male has never said he couldn't live out his dream. And we was just like silent. We looked at each other like, damn, he right. So we went back to the dorms and talked about it. I was like, what you meant by that? He was like, think about it. As a child, if I wanted to kill and rape anybody, as a black man, even though I know it's wrong, my parents would be like, that's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that. But if I was white and it was like, hey, you're not supposed to do that, they'll put me on medicine, say I'm crazy. Then when it happens, like, oh, whatever. Like that was his dream. He become famous for being a serial killer. You get what I'm saying? Like that was his dream. So like, why can't I live out my dream if I just want to be a successful black male and a happy married man? You get what I'm saying? Or why can't I be a millionaire or whatever? And it's just like we get these limitations as kids put on us like, hey.
We get these expectations as kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all gotta go. I gotta go too. No, but like no, we got these expectations too, though. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, your success is where you want to place it.
Yeah.
You are your own limitation. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're the plumb line.